bizarre hosting. Go to agristhosting.com. Click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agrist Hosting. That's AGORIST hosting.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Attention CPAP users. Stop the insanity and torture of your CPAP mask. Don't you hate the skin irritation and terrible leaks? Jump on the CPAP Pro train. Invented by an actual CPAP user that became so frustrated with CPAP masks. Are you ready to try something new? With absolutely no straps or headgear? Go to nomask.com and get the best night's sleep ever. Free to Medicare patients. Go to nomask.com. That's NOMASK.com.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, dial, toll free, join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and you can join us on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Tonight in the studio with you, it's Ian,
Chris, and Darryl.
And I want you to know about healthexcellenceselect.com. It is an alternative to insurance because you don't have to have insurance. I know the government wants you to think you do. But there are other options, and this free market healthcare company is one of them. HealthExcellenceSelect.com. It's healthcare sharing. They will give you access to proactive health assessment daily, as well as no-charge 24-hour access to doctors, including traditional integrative chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and the price. You'll like the medical information card that they give you that you can give to EMS, first responders, the emergency room, or whatever medical professional you want. You can check them out right now over at healthexcellenceselect.com. Once again, healthexcellenceselect.com. As we continue, we can talk more about Julian Assange, also Chelsea Manning, just released from prison. I remember when we were talking about maybe a week before her release from prison that she's not doing interviews right out the gate. So maybe at some point she will be, but I imagine that the first thing she wants to do is just enjoy some semblance of what it's like to be a free person again. And indeed, if you go to her Twitter account, which is Twitter, I think it's XYChelsea, at XYChelsea, you can see she posted a picture of her first steps into freedom, posted a picture of her first slice of pizza on the outside. And
what kind of pizza?
Pepperoni.
Okay, good choice.
And then a picture of herself. So a selfie. So were selfies a thing when she was put into jail 5 years ago? Maybe they were just starting.
They've been around a while, haven't they?
She
was arrested 7 years ago.
7 years, okay.
And selfies had been around. I don't think there was the term selfie.
Yeah. It seems like it was just sort of coming into its own, maybe around that time frame. So anyway, welcome back to Chelsea Manning. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Maybe there may be more about Assange.
Yeah, there's a little bit more.
We can share that too coming up. But first, Nick is in Madison, Wisconsin. Nick, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, good to talk to you.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Actually, I wanted to talk about kind of the hysteria going on about Trump right now, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but you brought up Chelsea Manning, and that kind of sticks in my craw, really. I mean, her case, because really, and I'm a former Marine. I've dealt with classified information. She just let it out there, with irregardless of however many lives might have been, in peril, and that bothers me. That really does.
Well, you do know that the United States federal government was unable to prove the charge of aiding the enemy against Private Manning. That there's no evidence at all that any of the information that was released by WikiLeaks that was given to them by Private Manning had any impact on, quote-unquote, helping the enemy or putting any Americans' lives in harm's way.
Okay. First of all, I mean, there was a lot of information there. We can say there's no evidence, but let's say I put my car in neutral and I point it towards a playground and it doesn't run over any kids. I should still get arrested.
Why?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I've got a lot of questions here.
The potential for harm, that's not a problem.
Hold on. So I've got questions here. Just because your car's pointed in the direction of a playground doesn't mean that the road is going downhill and the car would necessarily roll towards the playground. The playground could be at the top of a hill. You're at the bottom of a hill. Your car's in neutral, and your car's going to roll backwards away from the playground. It could be a completely flat road. There could be a car right in front of you. You could have the emergency brake on, but the car in neutral.
And why would anybody do that anyway?
You're being very litigious and missing my point. I mean, what I'm saying is that if you do something that could cause harm, you should be prosecuted for it.
And Private Manning was prosecuted for it. Private Manning was in jail for 7 years. Private Manning was given a 35-year sentence, which is by far and away the largest sentence ever given to a person that was a whistleblower charged under the Espionage Act. So,
not a whistleblower. I mean,
how the hell is Private Manning not a whistleblower when she revealed evidence of possible war crimes? There's a video of a helicopter gunning down reporters. That's a war crime. You raving lunatic. How is she not a whistleblower?
Hey, I'm not a raving lunatic. I'm trying to talk calmly here, okay?
Okay, yes, you're talking calmly, but you're talking nonsense.
No, I'm not talking nonsense. I'm talking when you say there's no evidence that anyone was harmed by his, releases, I guarantee people were harmed.
Well, they don't have any evidence of that.
Where is the evidence? The U.S. government could not prove that. That's why the U.S. government court dropped that charge.
Yeah, I mean, if they've got plenty of resources that they can investigate to find out if there was even some sort of allegation of that harm, and they certainly would have trotted that out in court if they had.
There was a charge, and the court said not guilty.
We have CSI in Iraq and Afghanistan. We have that.
I don't have anything in Iraq and Afghanistan.
I know we don't.
No, I don't have any. I'm not involved in Iraq and Afghanistan. You were the one who was in the military. Okay, so you can say we about you, but not me.
Okay.
And that seems really, I mean, if you've called to defend the military today, I mean, you might as well just defend a bunch of rapists and murderers while you're at it, because, I mean, these are, you're so concerned about the poor men and women of the military who might have been put in harm's way because of the truth being released by Chelsea Manning. And if what you're saying is that the truth that was being released. I'm not talking
about the poor men and women in the military. I'm talking about our poor interpreters and informants who helped us.
Again, anybody who's helping the military if you help out the U.S. government, then you should expect what you get, which is the government's going to throw you under the bus. The government's going to screw you over. The government's going to treat you like garbage and then throw you away like a used Kleenex if you're lucky to even survive the interactions with these people. Look, the military they're not doing good things around the world. There may be some individuals who try to help when they're on the ground and try to do whatever whatever they feel the right thing is within the circumstances that they find themselves. I'm not going to say that's not the case, but ultimately the people in the military are following the orders of thugs and liars and criminals in Washington, D.C., and as much information and as much light can be shed about their activities should be shed on their activities, and shame on anybody who tries to defend the military and the killers within it.
And gunning down journalists and then laughing about it is a war crime, and anybody that's defending that is an absolutely horrible, despicable person.
Is that you, Nick? Are you defending the murder of innocent people?
I am not defending that at all.
So you're saying it's not whistleblowing to release information about murder like that?
Oh, okay, we can say that's whistleblowing.
Okay, well, there you go.
What is wrong is releasing the names of these informants and these interpreters who are now probably dead because of him.
Again, you're speculating and you have no evidence whatsoever. Thanks for the call tonight. And to me, it doesn't really matter anyway. The number here is 855-450-FREE. You work with a criminal gang and you get what you get. I don't feel sorry for the people who've turned evidence for the government, whether it's, interpreters in the military, or whether it's, rats dealing with the police or snitches or whoever. I don't feel sorry when they get outed, when they, their identities are revealed. And I'm not saying that the people who are doing interpreting are bad people I'm not saying that. But you're working with a criminal gang. That's what the government is.
Yes.
So, they make the rules, and if they want to throw you to the wolves, they will if it benefits them.
What's the difference between the United States federal government and the mafia? The mafia has a code of ethics that they follow.
Wow.
The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Government apologists are welcome. We're happy to take your calls. You're welcome to bring up whatever's on your mind here. This is Free Talk Live.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9256. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9256. Call 1-800-958-9256. 1-800-958-9256.
Hey, diabetics. Yeah, you. Got a spare hour to waste going to the pharmacy to get your insulin or other meds and supplies every month? I didn't think so. Me either. I've got life going on, which is why I use PillPack. PillPack is an amazing online pharmacy. They package up all my diabetic meds and testing supplies into daily doses and send it to me every month, automatically. All I do is pay my normal copay. PillPack does the rest. I'm serious. This is a free service. They don't even charge for shipping. PillPack handles all the medical insurance stuff and even get with my doctors for my other prescriptions so I don't have to, which is good because that's the stuff I forget. But PillPack remembers everything. They even package up my daily vitamins so I remember to take them too. If you're diabetic, your meds and supplies are life and death, which means you need PillPack. Call right now for this free service. You may even qualify for $25 in free vitamins. 800-560-7310. That's 800-560-7310. Again, 800-560-7310.
A new video game is being criticized for its harsh portrayal of barbed wire. Here's GameBite's Caitlin Torres with more.
Bethesda's The Evil Within is a nightmarish adventure that shows bloody and rusty barbed wire being used to hurt innocent people, which has angered the nation's barbed wire producers.
Barbed wire is a positive force for good. It protects our junkyards from scrap metal thieves and helps keep our cattle ranches safe from rustlers. But Bethesda thinks it's okay to ignore all the benefits of barbed wire and make it look like some scary thing used by murderers.
The designers have promised that the game will feature prominent messages extolling the virtues of the sharp steel fencing. But barbed wire groups say that it's too little too late.
If Bethesda wants to make this right, they should have the main character go behind a fence and then be safe from monsters because they can't climb over the barbed wire to get him. Now, that's a game I would play.
Let's hope Bethesda listens.
Thanks, Caitlin.
This is the Onion News Network.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you may Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. With you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl. And the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire is going out to the ball games, sponsoring the New Hampshire Fisher Cats on June 10th. You can join the LPNH in the new pavilion at the stadium with access to a private portion of the bar and an all-you-can-eat buffet. Tickets are only $40 and need to be purchased fast because they're going very, very fast. Get your tickets at lpnh.org/FTL. Have a great evening out with the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats as they take on Eastern League champion Akron Rubber Ducks on Saturday, June 10th. Again, tickets only $40 and need to be purchased soon. Get your tickets, lpnh.org/FTL.
You're going to be there, right?
I will be.
All right.
And I believe Mark's going as well.
This is, what day is this?
It's June 10th.
And that's a what?
That's a Saturday. I believe Chris is going to be sitting in.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah, I think Mark's taking the family.
All right, cool. So lpnh.org/FTL. /FTL. All right. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. As we continue here, did you say there was more to share about Julian Assange, who
there is
still holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy, even after Swedish prosecutors have decided to drop the case? Not that there ever was one, but to drop the investigation against Julian Assange, and so therefore no more looming rape charges for him.
Correct. However, the UK government still wants him, and the US government wants him, even though
they don't know why.
Based on what I'm seeing, there's no formal charges. And the lawyer, Elizabeth Massey Fritz, who's the lawyer for the accuser in Sweden, criticized the Swedish authorities in a statement to CNN. She says, "It's a scandal that a suspected rapist is able to evade the judicial system and thus avoid trial. Evidence in this case is available, and that evidence should have been tested in court." Fritz said the process had dragged out for too long and that her client was shocked by the decision to drop the case. Quote, "To conduct a preliminary investigation for so many years and today make a decision to close the investigation is something I am very critical of," Fritz also called for a review
Yeah,
of...
she's going to get paid either way.
Probably.
Yeah.
Fritz also called for a review of parts of the judicial process, including how Sweden tries suspects who deliberately avoid court for years. But again, Assange has said, I'm willing to talk to Swedish authorities if they come here, because he knew if he stepped foot outside of that embassy, the UK government was going to nab him on some made-up charge that they want him for. She concluded, that being the attorney, concluded he has acted like this consciously, and his fear must be that he's afraid of being sentenced for rape. Nobody wants to be sentenced for rape because it's a terrible and humiliating crime.
Well, in order to be sentenced for rape, you have to be charged with rape and then convicted for rape.
Yes.
Neither of those things have happened.
They then have a big, bold question: what's next for Assange? Possible U.S. charges aside, Assange is still subject to an arrest warrant in the UK after he failed to surrender to the Westminster Magistrate Court in June 2012, according to London Metro Police. However, they noted now that the Swedish authorities have dropped their investigations. Assange was wanted for a much less serious offense than before, and said the force would provide a level of resourcing which is proportionate to the offense. They added the priority of the members of parliament, or wait, no, MP here must be the Metro Police, must continue to be arresting those who are currently wanted in the capital in connection with serious violent or sexual offenses for the protection of Londoners. Not sure why the UK government wants him. They don't really go into detail here, and that's the end of the article. But long story short, he's staying in the Ecuadorian embassy until further notice.
Story of the Daily Mail claims they want him for jumping bail in 2012.
Yeah, they just say that he didn't go to court in 2012, but they didn't say why he was supposed to be in court in 2012.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if the Daily Mail has that info.
Yeah, I'm looking here. It doesn't. It's not making that clear. Yep. Well, anyway, we don't know.
I think the UK was going to extradite him, and that's why he had to go back to court. But he had already lost at that point in court, so it was probably like some.
But what was he in court for?
Extradition, if I'm not mistaken.
So it could have been an extradition.
He lost
that
to
makes
Sweden.
sense,
right? He lost the extradition at that point, but I guess he still had to go back to court for some reason, and
because
before they could extradite him,
and because he has a failure to appear, they put a warrant out. At least in the United States, they put a warrant out for your arrest if you fail to appear in court.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes you can go and just kind of get that taken care of. But I'm sure he's concerned that there's going to be some other charges that are going to be slapped on him at that time.
Right. And because the United Kingdom does not have a First Amendment, not that that doesn't mean that they don't have some sort of protection for the freedom of the press. Yeah. They just don't have it written down all nice and neat and orderly.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's really interesting about the UK is they don't have an officially written constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a series of documents that they consider, like, oh yeah, the Magna Carta is kind of part of it, and this other thing, but it's not, a nice, neat, orderly, compact document titled The Constitution of the United Kingdom of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And they're a monarchy. And they rate higher than the U.S. on the World Freedom Index. And
true.
I've always thought that's weird, where people in the U.S. are like, we're a constitutional republic, and those words mean something. Well, they mean
Not
something.
really.
They just don't mean what you think they mean.
Yeah.
5 of the top
because
10 freest countries
they keep
in the world.
redefining everything the courts.
Right, but 5 of the top 10 freest countries in the world, according to the Fraser Institute in conjunction with Cato,
Have no constitution.
Have no constitution, and they're monarchies.
Now, is New Zealand a monarchy?
Technically, they are a monarchy because they're part of the British realm.
Okay.
As is Canada and Australia.
Yeah, because I remember reading about New Zealand years ago, just because...
Yeah, they're generally tied for number 1. They're always in the top 5.
Yeah. And they basically, if you elect a government in New Zealand, they can completely they can change the whole thing from top to bottom because there's no constitution there, as I understand it.
Right, and again, there's the British common law that makes up sort of the unwritten constitution.
Yeah.
So you couldn't
Sort of
just
the
be like,
bones of it.
oh, now all of a sudden,
no more courts.
No more courts, or you can just go in and start killing your neighbors if you want, because like they still have laws, and there are certain things that are recognized as inherent rights. It's just not written down in a nice, neat, orderly manner.
Let's go to Kenny. He's in Yucca, Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Hey, Kenny.
Hi. This Assange thing has me confused. When I was in the Army, I had a top-secret security clearance, and I was an E4, and I didn't have access to all this information that he supposedly had, and he must have an unstoppable supply of this information that just keeps coming and coming and coming.
You talking about Julian Assange from WikiLeaks, or are you talking about Chelsea Manning, the leaker?
WikiLeaks.
Well,
Right, so WikiLeaks is a website where various whistleblowers send them information. So
Right.
Julian Assange isn't, hacking into the DoD computers.
Yeah, I don't know if there have been large tranches of defense information released recently, but there was the CIA leaks that happened recently from WikiLeaks. There were the Russian connections with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton emails, and those came through WikiLeaks. But I mean, the last big bombshell from the military was Chelsea Manning, wasn't
Yes.
it? So no, it's not like there's this ongoing leakage happening.
And then one more thing on Manning is after she was charged, she had her rank reduced from sergeant to private, which makes it look like a private somehow had access to all of this info. She was a sergeant who had access to info, and then the military reduced her rank.
Well, even a sergeant had to have only had combination to one of the locks. There were two locks. The officer had to open the other lock.
Well,
so there's always two-man access to it.
We don't know exactly how she got the information. It may have been as simple as plugging a flash drive into a computer. Hey, thank you for the call, Kenny. I don't know if everything is behind the old two-lock system that you might be envisioning. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
Everyone has something in their lives or just about themselves that they want to change, from trying to lose weight to becoming more motivated at work. Change is difficult, but the good news is no matter what, you don't have to go through it alone. Hypnotherapy can help you remove negative subconscious thoughts that keep you from achieving your goals. Never rely on just willpower again. Contact us at afterhourshypnotherapy.com today for your free consultation, or contact Melvin Marsh at 678-658-8483.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, May 19th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.84 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,254 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,927. Antiwar.com reports over the past few weeks there have been multiple reports of President Donald Trump planning to unveil a massive arms sale to Saudi Arabia during his upcoming visit, and the figures have kept rising. What was $100 billion earlier this week is now, according to the most recent reports, $350 billion. That would make it one of the largest arms deals in U.S. history and realistically in world history, and indications are that President Trump intends to present this as part of the push for the creation of Arab NATO, and by extension make it part of Sunni Arabs confronting Iran. This single deal would dwarf President Obama's arms deals throughout his entire term in office, which are estimated at $200 billion and are themselves the biggest amount of arms sales by any administration in the post-war era. Saudi Arabia was a large buyer then as well. With Saudi Arabia locked in a seemingly endless war in Yemen, they're going to continue to throw money at more costly U.S. munitions and weaponry in hopes of winning what they thought would be a simple war, and all indications are that the current administration will be just as eager as the last one to sign off on those deals. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com. UPI reports Jason Chaffetz, a top House Republican who asked the DOJ to investigate President Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey, announced on Thursday he is resigning in June. In a letter to Utah's 3rd Congressional District, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee said, "After careful consideration and long discussion with my wife, Julie, we agree the time has come for us to move on from this part of our life," adding, "My life has undergone some big changes over the last 18 months. Those changes have been good, but as I celebrated my 50th birthday in March, the reality of spending more than 1,500 nights away from my family over 8 years hit me harder than it had before." His resignation was not a surprise. He announced in April he would not seek re-election in 2018 and would leave Congress before his term expired on January 3rd, 2019. Chaffetz will step down effective June 30th, 2017. His successor as House Oversight Chairman will take over part of the federal investigation into allegations of Russia's election hacking and whether Trump's campaign colluded in that effort. On Tuesday, Chaffetz asked the FBI for documents regarding Comey's communications with Trump. He also asked Comey to appear before his committee next week. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a former uniformed Secret Service officer was sentenced to 20 years in prison on Thursday for sending sexually explicit messages to minors, sometimes while on duty at the White House, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Lee Robert Moore of Churchill, Maryland, pled guilty in March to enticement of a minor to engage in sexual activity and attempting to transfer obscene material to a minor. He was fired after his arrest in November 2015. The DOJ said in a statement that Moore was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Palm Beach, Florida, where his guilty pleas were consolidated. When he was arrested, Moore was assigned to protect the White House complex, and prosecutors said he sent some of the materials while on duty there. He was originally arrested on a charge of sending naked pictures of himself to an undercover Delaware State Police officer posing as a 14-year-old girl. After his arrest, investigators found that Moore had sent sexually explicit images of himself to a minor in Florida and asked her to send him explicit photos of herself. He had similar communications with a 14-year-old girl in Texas and a 17-year-old girl in Missouri. Moore was sentenced to a life sentence of supervised release after his prison term is over. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
If you're just tuning in, a horrific accident. Dozens are dead and hundreds more injured after the Coors Light party train crashed in Pratt, Kansas. The train was barreling through a field on its way to liven up a boring, overheated barbecue when something went wrong. Partiers were thrown hundreds of feet from the train as the frost-powered locomotive careened through bystanders at its normal speed of over 27,000 miles per hour. Rescue crews are struggling to get close to the crash. The Rocky Mountain frost radiating from the downed silver bullet is flash freezing survivors' bodies as they try to escape the wreckage. And the OJ's hit song Love Train is looping at deafening levels. No word yet on the cause of the accident, but investigators are focusing now on the fact that the train weighs 400 million tons and was not on rails. Coors Light has released the following statement, quote, Coors Light regrets any loss of life caused by the Coors Light party train's raw, frosty power. Please continue to enjoy Coors Light. We'll have more on this story as it develops.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want as we launch into the second hour of the show. Our toll-free number for you to join us is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, you've got Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Coming up, Chris is going to tell us about prior restraint. What is it? It's a legal concept. We'll get into that here shortly, and he's here courtesy of thinkpenguin.com. But let's go to your phone calls and thoughts first. We've got Sarah on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes. Did you know that Albuquerque voters, we will be voting to increase our gasoline tax or not? But I already decided I'm going to vote to increase our gasoline tax.
You would vote to increase every tax. We already had a discussion last night where you want to ban cigarette smokers from the entire city.
That's not possible, but you know what? You know why? I want to tell you why.
Well, I'm glad you realize it's not possible, but you still advocated for doing so.
You want to tell us why what?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why I want to increase the gasoline taxes, because it'll be less cars on the road.
No,
you know what
won't.
that means? The less pedestrians killed. You know, less cars on the road.
Technically, it's fewer, right? Mark has corrected me enough times on this one where
it
I've
would
learned,
be fewer,
yeah.
but still, you're not going to wind up with fewer cars on the road.
Well, wait a minute. Mark said that when he Mark's another co-host of ours for listeners just tuning in, but Mark Edge said that he quit smoking cigarettes when they raised the tax on cigarettes.
Okay.
Right, that's correct. So in other words, people go
So maybe there's
crazy
something
when
to what
when the
Sarah's
gas
saying.
is cheap.
Now,
Well, it's true
how
that
much?
most
Hold on,
people-
Sarah. I've got a question. How much are they wanting to raise the fuel tax?
Well, I don't know the exact detail, what the percentage of it
She doesn't
is.
care. She's going to vote for it anyway.
Right.
Doesn't
So,
matter.
if it's a thing of we're raising the fuel tax by 1 penny on the gallon,
Nobody's gonna
not
stop
going
driving.
to affect anything. If they're raising
Right.
it by $500 billion a gallon, then yes, of course, it's going to affect. But chances are it's probably going to be somewhere around, like a penny, 2 pennies a gallon. It's going to have a minuscule effect, and most people probably aren't even going to realize that the fuel tax went up because, for the most part, they don't list what the fuel tax is on the gas pumps.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna vote for it. I don't know, on the mayor ballot October 3rd or something like that. But the thing is, okay.
Now, is this something that's typical in Arizona? I mean, because
She lives in New Mexico.
I'm sorry, New Mexico, Arizona. Anyway, is this typical? Because generally they don't let you vote on a gas tax increase, from what I've
There
ever
are
seen.
some places, Alabama being one of them, to where the only way a tax can be added is if it goes up for a popular vote and gets ratified by a certain percentage. Now, there's other places, Pennsylvania being one of them, to where they'll put a non-binding referendum of, do you want to raise a tax? And then they go ahead and do
Just
whatever the
ignore it.
hell they want.
Right. The AP reporting here that a clash about whether to increase taxes in New Mexico escalated. This is from March of this year, as the Democrat-led Senate pushed forward with a proposal to raise more money from taxes on gasoline, diesel, and vehicle sales. Joined by 3 Republicans, Democratic senators approved a bill that would provide $183 million to shore up a state general fund reserve and boost funding for road maintenance. The plan would raise the tax on retail sales of gasoline for the first time in more than 25 years, adding 10 cents to each gallon, or 27 cents overall. The tax on diesel would increase by 5 cents per gallon, and vehicle sales would increase from 3 to 4%. About $20 million a year would be redirected from petrol truck loading fees that would currently help clean up underground gas storage tanks.
So the vehicle registration, was that vehicle registration or a sales tax on vehicles?
That is sales tax going from 3% to 4%, and gas taxes going up.
Does that apply to used vehicles?
Not clear. Not clear on that.
Well, you know what? That's the state level. This is just within the Albuquerque city limits. We're having a vote.
I'm sorry. I thought you said New Mexico was voting on a
No,
tax.
she said Albuquerque during the mayoral election.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. I didn't catch that. Okay, so yeah, then that makes more sense, right? Because it would seem unlikely that the state, I guess you're saying in Alabama they have to do this, but that in most states I've ever been in, they don't put an
I'm talking
overall
about
tax.
municipal taxes
Oh,
in
you're saying
Alabama.
Municipal. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because
Okay.
I understood her to be saying the entire time she was talking about a city tax.
I see. So no, you're not saying that in Alabama at the state level they require a vote. You're saying
Correct.
it's only municipal. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Right, because Alabama, kind of like New Hampshire, is not necessarily a home rule state.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain things that certain larger municipalities can do, but in Alabama, the Alabama Constitution is so convoluted that the Constitution has to be amended to allow certain counties to do almost anything, which is why that Constitution is the most amended document ever written in human history.
So what I'm saying is that, when the taxes they drop, there are always more car accidents. And then they always blame where the gas prices were lower, so everybody's out on the road driving and acting crazy. And
well, Sarah, correlation is not necessarily causation. I mean, just because that might happen to be true, and again, a lot of times your facts and your information are mistaken. But let's just presume that you're correct, and that those statistics do correlate. That doesn't mean that gas taxes going up or down actually has an effect on
I don't
car
know
accidents.
if anybody's ever decreased the fuel tax.
So you don't know, Sarah, what it was that the proposal was for this local tax, for this Albuquerque-only gas tax?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's 2 cents or 5 cents. I don't know the exact detail. But I know the Albuquerque voters, we're going to vote down. We hate anything expensive and paying out. We're always so broke and so poor. We're insane. I'm the only person that's going to vote for the gas tax.
I can guarantee you're not going to be the only person to vote for it. And according to the Albuquerque Journal, it's a
Looks
2
like 2
cent per
cents.
gallon tax increase.
Thanks for the call, Sarah. Appreciate the discussion.
And according to this, it says a local think tank has launched a campaign to defeat the proposed 2 cent per gallon gas tax before it even makes it onto the ballot. So this appears to possibly be something that someone's trying to petition onto the ballot.
Unfortunately, I don't think they have to put it on a ballot around here. I know the city of
Correct.
Keene has its own gas tax, as I understand it. Because
I don't think they have a gas tax.
No?
They've got a vehicle registration fee.
I thought they had a gas tax here because the price of gas is always higher in the city of Keene.
Sure, it's not just because of the prices higher for the property taxes and things of that
Could
nature?
be. It could be that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I always just presumed that meant that there was a gas tax in Keene.
It always blows my mind that like a city can like put a tax on something. It just I don't know.
And again, we don't necessarily know if New Mexico is one of these places where they've got complete home rule. Is it something to where the state government has said municipalities can have a fuel tax of up to X? I know, again, in Alabama, that's where I spent most of my life. The cities and towns are allowed to add a little bit of a sales tax. So there's the state sales tax, there's the county sales tax, and then municipalities can add a sales
penny
tax
or two or whatever.
So, like between Birmingham and some of the towns that are like 1 or 2 towns away, the sales tax varies drastically from like 11% to 5.5 or 6.
Oh my God!
I had to deal with something like that in Louisiana. In New Orleans, they've got like multiple cities, and like right next to each other, which is basically New
Right.
Orleans. And if you do business in the different, regions, because I had a little computer repair operation. There was 3 different municipalities, and then there was a county, and there was
and then
they don't
probably
call them counties,
unincorporated part. Yeah, they've got parishes.
Parishes.
And then
a state.
unincorporated part. So there's no municipal tax, but the state and the county or parish tax still apply.
It gets better because they'll have 2 different taxes on like the same thing, depending on whether something is in a wall or out of a wall, and then on certain days.
In a wall or out of a wall?
Yeah, so if you run wire outside the wall, there's no tax on it, but if you run it inside the wall, there's a tax on it. And there's also certain days. There's certain days. Yep. And there's certain days when there's
You lived there?
No, I didn't live there. I just ran a business remotely, and I had employees there.
Wow.
And like there's certain days where there's no tax on certain things.
Oh, yeah, the tax holidays.
Yeah, tax holidays, but it's like selective things.
There's more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts on taxes or whatever's on your mind goes. Plus, prior restraint. We got to talk about that coming up as well.
Bitcoin.com recently reported Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. To many Bitcoin proponents, the current fee market is moving way too fast, making Bitcoin unusable for certain transactions. The fee market and slow confirmation times have also increased the tension concerning the block size debate. However, if there are wallets with low amounts of Bitcoin that can't cover the fees, they become virtually unspendable. Learn more at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com.
Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want. Just dial in toll-free and take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You can Skype in here at username LRN.FM. Tonight with you, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Back to the phones and the fun here in a moment, but have you ever noticed how you feel sluggish and tired after a big meal? Well, that's probably because your body's enzymes are prioritizing the digestion of that food, and that's why many people take a digestive enzyme supplement. A quality enzyme supplement that contains a full array of enzymes will help digest all 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. This means more energy for you and improved weight management over time. Some nutritional experts even feel a digestive enzyme supplement is more important than a vitamin and mineral supplement. But with Whole Food Multi-Complete, you don't have to decide between the two. Whole Food Multi-Complete includes both vitamins and minerals and digestive enzymes in a single product. And not only that, they include 5 other classes of nutrients, a total of 54 nutrients. For 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has combined digestive enzymes, vitamins and minerals, probiotics, antioxidants, herbal immune support, and more into a single product. They're the only one that does a 7-in-1 product, so they're making thousands of people healthier while saving them thousands of dollars. 30% off for you if you use coupon code FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's coupon code FTL with your first order, and that gets you a pretty good deal. Plus, you can also pay with Bitcoin if you like, and free shipping on orders over $60.
And I've pulled up more info on this gas tax that Sarah called in about in Albuquerque.
Hold on. SimplifyMySupplements.com is where you go to get that. That's SimplifyMySupplements.com.
And apparently this is something that the city council is discussing, putting this proposal on the ballot, where it would be a city ordinance that has to go before the voters. And again, a 2-cent per gallon gas tax is what's being proposed. There's a group called the Rio Grande Foundation that started the No ABQ Gas Tax campaign with the website noabqgastax.com.
All right.
And this foundation, the Rio Grande Foundation, they helped defeat that soda tax in Santa Fe that Sarah wanted so badly.
Sounds like a good organization.
So they're trying to get the city council to reject the ordinance that would put the gas tax on the ballot. So they're hoping to defeat this thing before it even gets to the ballot.
I see. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about it from Sarah as time goes on.
Oh, yeah.
So you can always bring up what you want. Let's go to the phones here. Ralph is on the line in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah.
Ralph. Hello, Ralph. Don't yell into the phone. Don't yell into the phone.
Okay.
It's really loud
right now. I want to give an update about the Baltimore police case with Freddie Gray, because the police review
where the cops killed a guy because they gave him what they call a nickel ride and basically threw him in the back of a van.
Because the guy is being an animal, okay? Or, the main issue here.
How do you know
the police
that?
Review Board, that he has an extensive arrest record. That's how I know that.
That doesn't mean that he ever actually harmed anybody,
You
Ralph.
cannot wipe guilty. You cannot wipe guilty your way into this. You cannot. Okay?
No, I'm just pointing out that just because somebody's been arrested doesn't mean they've ever actually harmed anybody. Ian, how many times have you been arrested?
7 or 8.
How many people did you murder?
None. I've never harmed
How many
anyone.
people did you burglarize? How
None.
many people did you rob?
No victims.
How many people
No
did you
victims.
steal from? How many little children did you run over in
All
a
the
police
dude
car?
had was look. Let's talk about Freddie Gray here. I've never harmed anybody, but Freddie Gray, the allegation was he had a switchblade. I mean, that's for self-defense. There's no allegation that he stabbed anybody, Ralph. And this has nothing to do with white guilt. This is the facts in the case.
Well, look at if you look at
you're a racist, and you want to see black people thrown in the back of vans and killed,
or choked out on the sidewalk in New York City for selling loose cigarettes.
We always always go into the hype, the hyperbole, and the hypothesis about
You're the one that
hyperbole.
is bringing up the hyperbole.
That's right. And you never look at the fact that blacks are, racist as well. And
no,
black
absolutely.
bigotry
That's wrong, Ralph. Of course, we've looked at that. That's the truth. There are people of all skin colors who are racist. Duh. Obviously, racism isn't just exclusive to white people. That would be ridiculous.
Or Filipinos.
Or
as Ralph is.
Or Filipinos, indeed. So, look, before you go off onto your racist screed or rant, Ralph, what is the update on the case? You said you had an update.
The police review board has finally cleared all the cops involved in this.
What a surprise.
This is my surprised face.
Okay. And that's a good thing for them to do, because that animal Obama is trying to influence.
What the hell does he have to do with
Obama
this?
have to do with anything? You realize he's not president anymore, right? He's our.
And Obama is a nigger, right?
Okay, we're not going to let you say that on the radio, and now you're gone. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. I mean, as though he needed to reveal his true colors. There you go.
Yeah.
Those of you on the internet feed could hear what he said, but those of you on the radio, let's just say he used a certain N-word to describe the previous president of the United States.
He said a word that Booker T in WCW said one time and got in trouble for using.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. But since he brought it up, there is indeed that news from the Baltimore Sun, where Baltimore police have but will not release findings from their review of the officer's actions in Freddie Gray case. I wonder why they're not releasing that information. They have received the findings from the administrative review of the actions of the 6 city police officers during the arrest and transport of Freddie Gray, which was conducted by agencies from Montgomery and Howard counties. But officials are, quote, currently reviewing the case, unquote, and will not be releasing or discussing the findings because doing so would be against Maryland laws governing the personnel records of police officers. According to a Baltimore police spokesbureaucrat, Mike Davey, an attorney representing the officers and the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 3 union, said he and his clients haven't been given a copy of the findings report but are confident it will show no wrongdoing on the part of the officers. Quote, I'm sure the department will do a thorough review of the findings, and we believe by the time that's done, the officers will continue to be cleared of any policy violations. Administrative reviews, distinct from criminal investigations, are conducted to determine whether officers have violated the department's own internal rules and policies. They're usually conducted internally, but BPD asked the 2 county agencies to conduct the review in order to avoid conflicts of interest. You guys buy that, right? There's no conflict of interest here if we have the sheriff do the investigation of the Baltimore Police Department.
Yeah, there's no conflict of interest in asking your buddy, hey, buddy, I can't review myself because that might look bad, but I would never do anything wrong, right? So can you kind of,
You're saying
write
they're all
that
buddies?
down?
I thought the police were at each other's throats out there, that they don't like one another in the different departments. You're saying they're all buddy-buddy?
That's basically what I'm saying. Did you ever see the video out of, I believe it was Broward County, Florida, where a county sheriff pulled over a Fort Lauderdale police officer, and then all of the local police from the different municipalities targeted the woman until she wound up quitting?
Yeah, I remember that story. And
Yeah,
the dude that she pulled over,
they're buddies.
The dude that she pulled over was doing like 120 miles an hour, by the way.
Don't cross the thin blue line.
At least when they're accused, right?
Yeah, indeed. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live.
You've heard the phrase, you are what you eat? Not true. Actually, you are what you can absorb. So if the vitamins and supplements you now take are not being absorbed, what good are they? Introducing Protovite, proprietary liquid system that allows premium quality nutrients to positively affect the blood in an astonishing 5 minutes. Watch our amazing 2-minute live blood cell video at TrueHealthFacts.com. That's TrueHealthFacts.com. Then call 502-410-3411. Protovite is nutrition you can feel. Protovite is nutrition that gets in.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up anything that you want. You can join us here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. And I apologize to anyone who might have tried to call on Skype. I didn't have it pulled up until just now.
Wonk.
So we'll see if we can get somebody back on there here in moments. But anyway, you can bring up anything you want. It is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves. Let's talk about prior restraint. I know Chris is here from thinkpenguin.com. This is something you had brought in last week. We didn't get a chance to get to it. And this is a legal term, right? Prior restraint.
It's a legal concept, from what I understand. Whether or not my understanding of it's correct, I'm not 100% sure of at the moment. But my understanding of it was something to the effect of they basically can't stop publication. They can go after you for having published something, but they basically they can't stop it before it's been published.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory, right.
So
exactly.
I've actually pulled something up from the RCFP. Don't ask me what that stands for, but on their First Amendment handbook page, they say prior restraint is an official government restriction of speech prior to publication. Prior restraint as viewed by the U.S. Supreme Court, or rather is viewed by the U.S. Supreme Court as the most serious and least tolerable infringement on First Amendment rights.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what makes this whole article like what this judge. Okay, so let me read the title first. So New York judge says prior restraint is America's best defense against internet chaos. So all right, let me
wait. So that's meaning the judge is arguing for prior restraint?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
All right. So let me give a little intro here, and then we can go on. So a Long Island judge's.
Where's this from, by the way? I'm sorry to interrupt.
So this is from Tector.
Tector. Okay,
and it's actually it's not in relation to Tector. It's in relation to another paper.
Okay.
Okay. A Long Island judge is swiftly making a terrible name for himself with a terrible ruling in a defamation lawsuit. The ruling making acting Supreme Court Justice John Galasso look like an unconstitutional idiot has nearly nothing to do with the defamation claims, but rather his granting of the plaintiff's unconstitutional wish to have unflattering memories of himself pre-erased before the underlying lawsuit even gets going. Here's a bit of background. Jessica Pelletier, an employee of a medical marijuana company, Tikkun Olam, sued her coworker Eric Lerner as well as her superior for sexual harassment and retaliation. All right, so
Okay.
it's about sexual harassment. Before the defamation suit even got going, Lerner asked the court to grant him a restraining order against Pelletier to prevent her from distributing the daily news article Eric Lerner is so concerned about. This is already an unconstitutional request, but it gets worse. He also requested his name and picture be removed from the New York Daily News article about the harassment lawsuit.
All right, so let me see if I'm following this. You've got people working at a medical marijuana facility. One of them, the female, sues one of the males, or more than one, and one of those males, Lerner, is the guy who came back with a counter request saying, you got to leave my name out of this.
Yeah, so he countersued, exactly.
Okay.
Unbelievably, both of these have been granted by Judge Galasco. The Daily News wasn't
that
a party.
is a surprise that he would grant those.
Right.
Because, I mean, look, even if he didn't do anything, it's still a matter of public record that she's suing him. So even if she doesn't prevail in the case, you can't eliminate those records.
Right. But it gets worse.
I'm sure it does.
Do we know what happened in that case where she sued the coworker?
This was
no, because it hasn't even gotten started. The case hasn't even gotten started yet. This is
because
before the case started.
I was going to say that, if the court wound up expunging the case, then publishing about a case that's been expunged, I could see, a legitimate thing of, hey, officially this never happened. You can't write these things.
Yeah,
but
even then, though, I wouldn't. I mean, it's still a matter of public record that the case was brought.
If it's expunged, it's no longer in public record.
We have
it was in public record, and if I want to report on the fact of that it was in public record, I should be free to do that.
Let me keep going because this this isn't even the good part.
All right.
So, unbelievably, both of these have been granted by Judge Galasco. The Daily News wasn't a party to the defamation lawsuit, nor was it asked to make an appearance to defend its interests. It was informed the day before the injunction hearing, however, and its representative argued to no avail that the request order was prior restraint, something that's blatantly unconstitutional. Here's
specifically the request to keep this man's name out of the news headline about this.
Yeah. Here's the pertinent part of the order, which instructs the Daily News to alter an article based on obtained court documents. In other words, completely factual. And this is what it is.
So put it through the Orwellian memory hole.
Pending the hearing and determination of this motion, which is to be decided May 16th, the Daily News shall remove plaintiff Lerner's name and photograph from the article and its associated keywords and Facebook posts. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. The Daily News argued several things, all of which were heard but ignored by Judge Glasgow. First of all, its legal rep points out that the article in question is 6 months old, which makes Lerner's demand for an immediate injunction illogical. From the hearing transcript, which also contains the granted injunction.
So wait, he wanted an article that was written 6 months previously edited?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It makes absolutely no sense. And this is like an emergency injunction or something to that effect,
Okay.
from what I understand. Another important detail to note is that this article was published October 7, 2016, nearly 6 months or more than 6 months ago. The Daily News is therefore perplexed as to why its extraordinary relief in order to show cause has been brought, because it's not apparent how there could be this kind of immediate and irreparable harm that would warrant preliminary injunction relief for the defendant.
So I presume they appealed this decision.
Let me keep going, because plaintiff in this case has been aware of the article for 6 months. All right, we find it difficult to believe that Mr. Lerner will be able to make a showing of irreparable harm, given that he's waited 6 months to bring these proceedings, rather than when the article was first published, if the harm was really so immediate and irreparable. Judge Glasgow answers all the Daily News legitimate First Amendment assertions is because of the internet.
I mean, this would be as ridiculous as, and I can understand why somebody would want their name out of allegations that they don't believe they had anything to do with, or that they, feel their name is being dragged through the mud. I get it. I mean, we had these studios raided back in March of last year, and there were allegations of child pornography thrown around, but nobody was ever charged, and it's been over a year that the government has had the studio equipment, and no charges have been brought. So, I mean, certainly it was uncomfortable to have the news media reporting about those things, but that's, freedom of speech. It's freedom of the press. You have to defend, if you care about freedom, you have to defend the press's right to report on what they feel like they want to report on. I know that there's more to the story. If you want to join us here and comment on prior restraint here, a judge in New York, was it? Ruling that a man's name should be, after the fact, removed, and further from that point forward not mentioned, right, in future articles?
I think that's what they were getting here, but I can keep going.
Yeah, please.
This is the part that's good.
Yeah.
This is where it gets good. All right, Judge Glasgow's answer to the Daily Mail's legitimate First Amendment assertions is because the internet. The issue, because the internet was his response.
Okay.
All right, so the issue here is that the internet has changed. This is what the judge is saying, has changed dissemination of information. It's always there. If people want to check somebody, if it comes up all the time.
So what he's saying is, and there's more, you're going to get into it here, but so the judge is saying that, back in my day, we used to have newspapers, and you'd see the paper, and then that'd be the last time you saw the story. But now all you got to do is type in a search, and it just keeps on coming up. So that's what his justification is.
That's literally what this says right here.
Hold on, we're going to continue. Hold on. It's Free Talk Live, 855-450, free.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-940-9829. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-940-9829. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-940-9829. That's 1-800-940-9829.
It's been said,
Any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free. Join us on the radio waves. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And you can also join us on Skype. Our Skype username here is LRN.FM. I do want you to know about Dash. What is Dash? It's digital cash. And if you'd like to help build a better financial system for everyone, you should join Dash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. You can't do that with Bitcoin anymore, unfortunately. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. And that's one of the coolest things about Dash, in my mind, is that they really have allowed people within the Dash community to get involved in sort of the future of the currency and promoting Dash and helping it kind of get out there and propagate in a way that I've not seen in the other cryptocurrencies. You can join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and find out why as we continue here discussing the issue of prior restraint, the idea that a judge should not be able to, in a world of, or a country of free speech, that a judge should not be able to put the kibosh on you, preventing you from saying the things that you want to say before you've even said them. In this case, a judge in a case countersuit regarding a sexual harassment case against a man that worked with a woman at a medical marijuana facility. She sued. He countersued, saying he didn't want his name involved in any of these allegations. And the judge in the case granted him his request, which is surprising. And Tech Dirt has the story which you're sharing with us, Chris.
Yep. All right. So let's see here.
Oh, yeah. So the judge was explaining why
internet.
Why he ruled the way he did. And I just guessed at what the judge his rationale was going to be.
It was so perfect. All right, so let me
I got it right.
Yeah. So all right, so Judge Glasso's answer to the Daily News' legitimate First Amendment assertions is because of the internet. The issue here is so that,
and this is a quote from
this
the
is a
judge.
quote right from the judge. The issue here is that the internet has changed dissemination of information. It's always there. If people want to check somebody, it comes up all the time. Prior, a newspaper article is printed. That was the end of it. You had to go to a library to try to research it, to try and get that out.
Now, it's not always there, asterisk, depending on where you live, because there are some places, I forget exactly where in Europe, but they have this thing called the right to be forgotten.
Right.
To where you can file a complaint with Google and other... Right,
But they have it
that's
in
why I
Europe.
said asterisks in some places.
Or then there's China, which just straight up bans stuff.
So it's not always
partially what he's doing here.
Right.
He's basically implementing this the right
Which
to
is
be
why it's
forgotten
unconstitutional,
nonsense.
which is why...
Right. And this is very clearly unconstitutional. All right, let me continue. And this unbelievable word...
Word salad.
Word salad, where Glasgow gets going about the internet harassment, the First Amendment, and what he believes America is, and it apparently isn't searchable online newspaper articles. All right, so this is continuing the quote. Even of the judge, that is, even on other aspects, Facebook, something gets published on Facebook or Twitter, and something like that, even if it's false, people are harassed out of their houses. They are chanted in stores. This is not what America is about, and it has to be decided by a higher authority. All of this set aside.
Facebook leads to chanting at people in stores.
Yeah,
is what he's
apparently
saying.
Nobody wants to limit the First
What
Amendment.
has happened to this judge, right? I mean, does he have like some sort of personal skeleton in the closet where, there's something online that you can search about him, and have people chanted at him in the stores because of some stupid decisions
I don't know, man.
he's made?
I don't know. Nobody wants to limit the First Amendment rights from freedom of speech. But
I don't want to do it. I'm going to, but I don't really want to.
This hurts me. It hurts me to do this.
But you don't want chaos either. Oh man,
chaos
either. Man, I just have to say, I mean, you're the perfect person to respond to this, because you've actually been affected, by a lot of different what's the word? Liberal? Is it libel or libel or slander? Right.
Well, I mean, I look the other way when that stuff happens.
Yeah. Do you think we need it?
What, prior restraint?
Yeah.
No, of course not. I'm trying to find the example of what happened in the case of the Grafton judge, and this was years ago, who... I'll see if I can pull it up here during the next break, because it's not coming up because I'm forgetting what I need to search for. But there was a Grafton judge who demanded that Brad Jardis, who was a former co-host on this show, demanded that he pull down a news story that he had posted on Free Keene, or pull down some sort of information.
I think it was the court order saying you're not allowed to walk on the campus open carrying a gun.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was something like that. And I basically, Jardis did what he was told to do, but I went ahead and put it back up, just because I was not going to have some judge tell me what to do with my blog.
Right, and you were not a party to the case, so you technically did not violate the court order.
I think I might have actually.
Right, because it said
applied to
neither you nor your associates
Right.
nor blah blah blah. So it would basically encompass like anybody that Brad Jardis ever had contact with ever in life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll see if I can find that, because it was absolutely outrageous, and it was totally this sort of post restraint or whatever you want to call it. I mean, Brad had already published it, but now this judge was trying to undo that after the fact, and I basically called the judge's bluff at that point. I said, "Look, I'm going to go ahead and put this back up. He can hit me with contempt of court if he wants to."
Yeah,
and that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'll continue. Lack of familiarity with the First Amendment is one thing, but jurisdiction, the Daily News wasn't subject to its jurisdiction. This is from the Daily News. This is their response. While some judges seem to have a general impression that their powers extend wherever they want them to extend, they have certain fairly obvious limits. Foremost among them is they can't they can't issue orders requiring non-parties to do anything. Not good things, not bad things, nothing. They are not within the ambit of their jurisdiction just because the judge says so.
Now, Chris, you skipped the best part of the editorial from the Daily News.
Wait, did I?
Yes, where the editorial says a judge on Long Island has ordered the Daily News to remove the name of a defendant in a civil lawsuit from our website. Supreme Court Justice John Galasso, who wants us to scrub the man's name from an October 2016 story, must have missed the day the Constitution was taught in law school. The defendant's name is Eric Lerner. Eric Lerner, Eric Lerner, Eric Lerner, Eric Lerner, Eric Lerner, Eric Lerner, Eric Lerner. Furthermore, Eric Lerner.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times they write his name of this is the name the judge wants us to scrub from our articles.
Wow.
That's the best part of it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's the whole. I mean, literally, this whole article is just unbelievable.
But let's go back to the whole thing about Facebook causes chanting. So if this guy were walking through the grocery store and people were standing there, Galasso's wonderful, Galasso's wonderful, would he have a problem with that kind of chanting? Or if they're like, you need to be impeached. He'd probably be opposed to that. It's kind of like the whole thing with the Robin Hooding here in Keene, to where these people putting nickels in parking meters are talking to me, and they've got video cameras. So if they were, walking around with, write those ticket signs and, tow that car, would you be fine with that? Well, what if they were talking to you about the weather? And they're like, well, normal people can talk to me about the weather and say nice things, but these people are meanie heads, and so therefore they need to be 50 foot away at all times. Doesn't matter if that means that they have to jump out in front of a car because I run up on them. They have to be away from me, and I can do whatever I want.
Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. All right, I did find the story that is very much in relation to what we're talking about here, out of Grafton Superior Court in New Hampshire. And plus, we'll talk to you about whatever's on your mind. Maybe you want to talk about prior restraints or freedom of speech. Whatever you want to discuss goes. Hour 3 is on the way here. This is Free Talk Live. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, People need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, May 19th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.84 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,254 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,927. Antiwar.com reports over the past few weeks there have been multiple reports of President Donald Trump planning to unveil a massive arms sale to Saudi Arabia during his upcoming visit, and the figures have kept rising. What was $100 billion earlier this week is now, according to the most recent reports, $350 billion. That would make it one of the largest arms deals in U.S. history and realistically in world history, and indications are that President Trump intends to present this as part of the push for the creation of Arab NATO, and by extension make it part of Sunni Arabs confronting Iran. This single deal would dwarf President Obama's arms deals throughout his entire term in office, which are estimated at $200 billion and are themselves the biggest amount of arms sales by any administration in the post-war era. Saudi Arabia was a large buyer then as well. With Saudi Arabia locked in a seemingly endless war in Yemen, they're going to continue to throw money at more costly U.S. munitions and weaponry in hopes of winning what they thought would be a simple war, and all indications are that the current administration will be just as eager as the last one to sign off on those deals. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com. UPI reports Jason Chaffetz, a top House Republican who asked the DOJ to investigate President Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey, announced on Thursday he is resigning in June. In a letter to Utah's 3rd Congressional District, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee said, "After careful consideration and long discussion with my wife, Julie, we agree the time has come for us to move on from this part of our life," adding, "My life has undergone some big changes over the last 18 months. Those changes have been good, but as I celebrated my 50th birthday in March, the reality of spending more than 1,500 nights away from my family over 8 years hit me harder than it had before." His resignation was not a surprise. He announced in April he would not seek re-election in 2018 and would leave Congress before his term expired on January 3rd, 2019. Chaffetz will step down effective June 30th, 2017. His successor as House Oversight Chairman will take over part of the federal investigation into allegations of Russia's election hacking and whether Trump's campaign colluded in that effort. On Tuesday, Chaffetz asked the FBI for documents regarding Comey's communications with Trump. He also asked Comey to appear before his committee next week. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a former uniformed Secret Service officer was sentenced to 20 years in prison on Thursday for sending sexually explicit messages to minors, sometimes while on duty at the White House, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Lee Robert Moore of Churchill, Maryland, pled guilty in March to enticement of a minor to engage in sexual activity and attempting to transfer obscene material to a minor. He was fired after his arrest in November 2015. The DOJ said in a statement that Moore was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Palm Beach, Florida, where his guilty pleas were consolidated. When he was arrested, Moore was assigned to protect the White House complex, and prosecutors said he sent some of the materials while on duty there. He was originally arrested on a charge of sending naked pictures of himself to an undercover Delaware State Police officer posing as a 14-year-old girl. After his arrest, investigators found that Moore had sent sexually explicit images of himself to a minor in Florida and asked her to send him explicit photos of herself. He had similar communications with a 14-year-old girl in Texas and a 17-year-old girl in Missouri. Moore was sentenced to a life sentence of supervised release after his prison term is over. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Gilman's Hardware is a local business with a very special story. Although small and family-owned, the storefront operation has managed to consistently exploit and debase its workers just as if they were members of a giant multinational corporation.
From the moment I started the store 6 years ago, I wanted to make sure that every employee here at Gilman's felt like they were nothing more than a cog in a giant machine, just as if they had worked at one of our larger corporate competitors.
Denblaker said that despite having only 10 employees and a single location, he's managed to implement a number of unique policies to significantly reduce employee morale, including forbidding sales clerks to sit down during lengthy shifts, reducing their number of days with paid time off, and insisting on humiliating pat-downs during lunch breaks to ensure they never felt like trusted or valued employees.
Other small businesses might have given me benefits or, let me take a day off. But everyone here at Gilman's does their best to treat you like you're a totally replaceable tool for generating profit.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us. You can bring up anything you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
As we go to your phone calls and thoughts, we're going to talk more about freedom of speech coming up here with a New York judge that has recently shockingly ruled that the New York Daily News should remove a plaintiff's name and photograph from an article they were writing.
His name is Eric Lerner.
That's right. Eric, L-E-R-N-E-R, in case you were wondering.
E-R-I-C. Because there are a lot of different ways to spell Eric. I went to high school with a guy, Eric, spelled with an A. A-R-I-C.
I've never seen that one before. Interesting. Let's go to your calls and thoughts, though. First, before we continue on freedom of speech, let's go to Gamma Blast, listening in Chicago. You're on Free Talk Live, watching us on YouTube at cam.freetalklive.com.
Oh, hey, I just want to do a quick follow-up on Sarah. She admitted, or I won't say she admitted, but she said that taxing something is going to disincentivize its use, right? She said, well, less people will drive cars. So it seems like once somebody on the left says that, it seems like you kind of got them cornered at that point, because then you can bring up all the kind of things government's tax, like the income tax, say, okay, well, then you're going to disincentivize people to work, less people are going to have jobs.
Yeah, I asked her about that one time, and she said, I don't know about that, but...
Well, how would she know? She doesn't work.
Soda taxes discourage people from drinking soda, and cigarette taxes discourage people from smoking cigarettes, but I don't think that income tax discourages people from working.
No, they work just as hard, even if you tax them 90%, I'm sure. So even though I know when you make the argument, you're not really talking to her because nothing's going to get through, but you're talking to your audience through her, so that's... good argument for anybody in case. I know you guys hit it with that before. Just thought I'd bring it up again.
Excellent,
so it's a good point to bring home.
I appreciate that. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
Oh, and I think Ralph, sometimes I enjoy his calls, but the guy's getting a little ridiculous lately. And today seemed like he kind of crossed the line. I think I'm voting for at least a temporary suspension on that guy.
Really? All right. Well, we'll I can't say for sure that Ralph is skirting with that at the moment, because even though he is obsessed with race, he at the very least, mostly changes up his excuse to talk about it. So first it's Rachel Dolezal, then it's the update on Freddie Gray. So
these animals.
Yeah. I mean, so.
Well, yeah, if he would make his point, but then he just went ahead and blurted out. Didn't he just call Obama? He said, what? Like out of nowhere. I mean, that just had nothing to do with what he was trying to talk about.
He's an angry man who is obviously a racist, despite claiming up and down that he's not. Thanks, Gamma Blast, for your call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. See, these judges, to get back into the freedom of speech issue with prior restraint, Chris, you brought in the story from New York Daily News.
Tector. No, it's Tector about Daily News.
Right. Yeah. Tector reporting on, but then you've got the editorial from the New York Daily News where they've been told by this judge that they're not allowed to mention this defendant's name in this case.
His name is Eric Lerner.
And the judge is claiming that the reason for that is because the internet is searchable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That if you, now all you got to do is
That's a good summary.
Right. Is you got to type in some letters and you can find out everything about somebody. And back in the old days, said the judge, you had to go to microfilm in the library, pull up the specific newspaper you wanted to look for, and page through until maybe you would find the article that you wanted to find.
Now, I wonder if this guy also would have, sentenced the Dewey guy to some sort of hard labor for creating the Dewey Decimal System. Because back in my day, you just had to wander through the library until you found the book you wanted to. This whole thing of a card catalog, that just makes it too easy.
Yeah, that's the same idea. So he's not the first judge to do this kind of thing. These lower court judges will frequently rule against the Constitution. They'll frequently rule in favor of state power. And the only way to keep these guys in any kind of check, and if you even want to consider it that, is that you have to go up the chain. You have to spend more money on attorneys. Thankfully, the New York Daily News already has them on staff, likely. And so they just, have their attorneys handle this case.
The New York Daily News isn't officially a party to the lawsuit, which makes this whole thing even more outlandish.
I see what you're saying. So, but they were served with the order, were they not?
They were told, you have to remove this guy's name from your article and, blah, 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 but they were never a party to the lawsuit.
They're still able to appeal it, though, because they were named in the order.
Right. So they've appealed the order, and from what I saw, there was a hearing 3 days ago.
By naming them in that order, the judge made them a party to the lawsuit.
Correct.
By doing
but they were not a party prior
initially
to the judge, foisting them into the suit. There was a hearing, according to the article, 3 days ago. I've not found an update, and I did try doing what this judge said and just going on the internet and searching.
Didn't work.
And it didn't work.
Yeah, come on, New York Daily News. Let's get an update on this story, please. I'm curious to know how.
Well, and there might not have been a ruling, so it could have been there was the
under
argument,
advisement,
and we'll issue a ruling in the next 30 days.
That's a good
because
point.
a lot of time, each side has 10 extra days to file memorandums of blah blah blah, and to say we went to court and the judge said we can file stuff. That's not really
That's not news.
That's not news.
Good point. Yeah, you're right. It's very unlikely the judge would issue a ruling right then. They always want to make it seem like they're taking their time and they're really deliberating over the allegations.
Right, and based on whatever arguments were raised, there could have been something that was raised during the oral arguments that had not necessarily been mentioned prior, and then objection, well, I'll let it pass, but file a memorandum explaining why you think I shouldn't listen to this.
So here's the related story I finally pulled up from, let's see,
about 2011?
6 years ago. Yeah, I guess 5.5 years ago, December 8th, 2011. This was right around the time when Derek J's victimless crime spree was in the midst of occurring.
Yes.
And so this is an editorial piece that I wrote in response to the judge. And here it is. If you've been reading this blog in the last week, you're aware of the controversy brewing around Free Keene blogger and former cop Brad Jardis's plan, along with former military member Tommy Mozingo, to walk onto the campus of Plymouth State University with guns openly carried. Their purpose was to educate the students about their supposed right to carry weapons for self-defense. He announced it in advance here 3 days ago, and since the government university system has been freaking out. Now they've gone to Grafton Superior Court to save them from the peaceful gun rights demonstration and outreach event. A man who wears a robe has decreed some pretty outrageous stuff in a temporary restraining order issued today to Brad and Tommy. And I link to that temporary restraining order for anyone that wants to read the whole thing. First, Brad and Tommy are, quote, enjoined, unquote, from carrying any weapons on any state university campus, including Keene State and UNH. But not just Brad and Tommy, also, quote, their officers, agents, servants, employees, and attorneys, and any person acting in active concert and participation with Bradley Jardis and Tommy Mozingo. So this judge has created, or did, create an order not only enjoining the two people who had intended and publicly announced that they were going to violate the university system's rules of no weapons on campus or no guns on campus, but anyone who is in any way tangentially related to those two men is also being enjoined by this.
Can you read the actual wording again?
Quote, their officers, agents, servants, employees, and attorneys, and any person acting in active concert and participation with Bradley Jardis and Tommy Mozingo.
Yeah, that's basically anybody that you talk to about this that says, hey, that's kind of cool. Can I show up with you?
Right.
Or I'm going to go with a video camera. Or, hey, this person that I met in the line at the grocery store that, might possibly want to report on this for some random reason.
And there's more. I'll get to that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. You can join us here. We're talking about freedom of speech. And then coming up, Darryl, you've got a story about free speech with a laser.
Yes.
All right. And
not the fire the laser sort of things.
No,
but, like laser
pictures.
projection.
Yeah.
Words on buildings.
I like
the
those
best
things.
Words on the best buildings.
There's more coming up, and you can share your thoughts. 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live,
and not really the best buildings.
Bitcoin.com is the most unique online destination in the Bitcoin universe. Buying Bitcoin? Do it here. Want to speak your mind to other Bitcoin users? Our forum is always open and censorship free at forum.bitcoin.com. There's no bigger Bitcoin believers than the Bitcoin.com team. That's why this site is a one-stop shop for everything you need to get into Bitcoin life. You can also play games at games.bitcoin.com. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Everyone has something in their lives or just about themselves that they want to change, from trying to lose weight to becoming more motivated at work. Change is difficult, but the good news is no matter what, you don't have to go through it alone. Hypnotherapy can help you remove negative subconscious thoughts that keep you from achieving your goals. Never rely on just willpower again. Contact us at afterhourshypnotherapy.com today for your free consultation. Or contact Melvin Marsh at 678-658-8483.
Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $10,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-912-6177. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-912-6177. That's 800-912-6177. Again, 800-912-6177.
Because we are smothering in spam, please do not reply to all when you can instead reply. I was recently among over 100 invited to a corporate reunion. It's always a warm affair, and that's the problem. Enthusiasm for our upcoming get-together caused many recipients to RSVP the organizer with a cheery reply to all. I can't wait. Then others piled on with a reply to all to that. Then the "I'm out of my office now" autoresponders joined in. So I replied to all, asking that we all reply only to the organizer. Hey, at least I tried. One invitee, apparently retired, shot back, "Point taken, but I really like seeing the responses since they're so positive." Smiley face. This better be an open bar. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com. We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Bring up anything you want to talk about here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Skype on in and join us at Skype username lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation website. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, then freedomsphoenix.com has it. It's their daily dispatch is one way that you can stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. As we go to your phone calls and thoughts, we'll get back into what happened, sort of another prior restraint or post-restraint related story from my own experience, since we've been talking about freedom of speech, freedom of the press. We'll get into that a little bit further here in moments. A little flashback back to 2011 here in Keene, actually out of Grafton Superior Court in New Hampshire. But let's go to Mark in Utah first. Mark, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Chris, and Darryl.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So did you hear that Sweden has dropped the rape charges against Julian Assange?
Why, yes. That is actually pretty much what we spent the first hour of the show on tonight. But you're welcome. You're welcome to comment on it.
I listen on SoundCloud, so I hear it the day after. So
that's all right.
All right. Well, yeah, I was actually pretty excited to hear that. But then, of course, the British said, well, hey, he's not free to leave. Like he's still got other charges, and so he's not free to leave because of that, which was the whole reason why he was pulled up there to begin with. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to.
Yep, they're going to continue to spend taxpayer dollars on monitoring the Ecuadorian embassy 24/7 in case they try to sneak Assange out, and that does not appear to be stopping anytime soon, even though there are people within the British government who have been pushing to end that round-the-clock surveillance.
I thought they already stopped doing the round-the-clock surveillance, no?
Not that I've heard.
No.
I thought they want this guy.
Yeah,
they did it.
No,
they thought it
want
was costing too much, so they said they were gonna.
That was what the reason why there are people who are pushing to end it. Like that's the most persuasive reason they have to try to end.
Okay, so I was wrongly under the impression that they.
I mean, maybe that did happen recently, but as of several months ago, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, as of several months ago, they still had like armed.
More recent. I thought it was more recent than that. Yeah, I thought it was more recent than that they decided to stop around the clock surveillance.
Well, it's worth a look. I mean,
or maybe it was just officers outside the door. Maybe they're still surveilling it, just not. Maybe they're doing it remotely
just pulled up an article from the UK Independent where they have
stated here in August of last year, a man scaled a wall at the Ecuadorian embassy a few months after Scotland Yard called off their multi-million-pound 24-hour surveillance of the facility. So they did call off the surveillance sometime last year, the 24-hour surveillance. That's not to say that they're not there, overnight now, just not sitting outside during the day or something, or maybe they're only there 22 hours a day. But according to the UK Independent, they've not been there for 24 hours a day since last August,
Interesting.
at least.
Okay. Mark, anything else you want to share?
All right. No, that was it.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the heads up, even though he didn't know we'd already talked about it earlier in the show. It's always good to hear about things that are important to our listeners. One of the ways, the best way that you can do that is by calling in and, getting on the show like that. Another way is to go to freetalklive.com. Maybe you're not of the calling type, because it does take a unique person to want to have their voice heard on national radio. But if you still want to help, put news items in front of us, the front page of freetalklive.com actually allows you to, it's a Reddit-based system. You can submit content to it. So let's say you had a story about Julian Assange. You can submit that link there. It'll then show up on the site, and other listeners can vote whether they like or dislike your suggestions. And so you can go and do that anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. So the story, Darryl, is that they pulled the 24-hour surveillance, but were not clear exactly what they have in its place.
Correct.
So who knows? For whatever reason, Assange doesn't feel comfortable leaving that embassy right now. Maybe it's like, well, officially we're not surveilling it 24 hours a day, but perhaps some sort of
I'm
black
sure they've
budget.
got cameras on it or something. And even if they weren't, even if they didn't have any cameras on it, the second he tries to fly out, his name's going to come up on a list. I mean,
that's a good point.
And I don't even know, does he even have any kind of passport still? And they probably took that when they when they give him bail and stuff.
Unless like the Ecuadorian embassy can somehow provide him some kind of private jet to where he wouldn't have to show up on a ticket itinerary.
Yeah, but that's gonna get
But they're not
flagged.
going to be able to fly the jet into or out of the embassy because it's an apartment.
Yeah,
an apartment.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm saying like they'd have to get him to an airport first and then get him onto a private jet. And can a vehicle and a jet also be designated as official, like diplomatic embassy
The
things?
vehicle, I believe, can to some degree. If it's got like the diplomatic plates and then flying the little flag and something. But the thing is, they'll have to get him from the flat into the vehicle while walking through an apartment complex that is completely within London and completely under control of, the British authorities.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought about
basically.
all these things, right?
Right, and my guess is, maybe somebody's going to start, doing some calculations of, hey, let's try to figure out what times all of the surveillance things and the security guards. So, they might be trying to figure out a way to sneak him into a vehicle at some point.
And you know what else is the problem is if you look at what's happened recently with Edward Snowden, they literally took down a diplomatic plane, right?
You talking about when he was on the run?
Let's see.
It wasn't a diplomatic
Right? No,
plane.
no. There was a flight that they thought he was on.
They were
flying
flying
across Europe, and the authorities in Europe basically wound up having European Air Force go fly near this thing and ordered
Forced it
the
to
pilot
land.
to land. If you don't land, we will shoot you down. There's civilians on this plane. We want you to land. If you do not land, we will shoot you down.
Can you imagine how insane that would have been if they actually did? Do you think they were bluffing?
No.
Let's kill 200 people so we can try to acquire one man. That would be
And
insane.
I think there was some diplomat on that flight, but, just because the diplomat is on a flight does not mean that the flight is then, immune from whatever.
But, and again, my understanding and a lot of my understanding of vehicles being immune is knowing that there is such a thing as diplomatic plates.
Yeah.
And having seen movies and TV shows to where, like the diplomatic plate vehicle winds up, just being able to like evade the police. Now, I don't know if that's accurate, but I do know that the state reps, they can evade the police as long as they are going. Yep. And in most states, I know it applies in Alabama and every other state I've lived in, as long as they are going to or coming from doing the people's business.
The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE.
And in some states, it applies to lobbyists.
855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. More on freedom of speech. If you want to comment on Assange, that's certainly still welcome. Of course, you can bring up what you want here on Free Talk Live.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
It's written in legalese. If you don't have training in reading that crap, it might as well be a foreign language. And as you pointed out, it doesn't matter if you can read it.
I thought I had them dead to rights. And these bureaucrats, they just like, no, we do whatever we want here at the zoning board.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll kiss our butts.
Peon. Serf.
You'll
slave.
You'll do what we say.
Yeah. Why label them citizens?
Oh.
Why not just call it what it is? You're a serf. You're a slave. We're the freest slaves in the world. If you don't like this slavery, you should go to some other country and be a slave. At least we got cell phones and TV and beer.
Do have beer.
Our masters let us live a pretty nice life. They let us keep 40% of what we earn.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free. Join us here. The number, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Bitcoin.com has recently reported that Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. And to many Bitcoin proponents, the current fee market is moving way too fast, making Bitcoin unusable for certain transactions. And I can tell you this, it's not getting any better. There's a huge problem behind the scenes with Bitcoin, and the folks over at Bitcoin.com have been reporting on those issues over at news.bitcoin.com. In fact, the fee market and slow confirmation times have also increased the tension concerning the block size debate, which is ongoing. And if there are wallets with low amounts of Bitcoin that can't cover those fees, they become virtually unspendable. You can learn more at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com. So coming up, we'll talk about the laser projector free speech issue. But I wanted to finish up the story here from Flashback from freekeene.com in 2011, where I had to deal with a out-of-control judge who was issuing orders that arguably he shouldn't have been able to do, telling a blogger at Free Keene that he had to actually post the order from the judge to freekeene.com. So this judge issued an order called a temporary restraining order enjoining Brad Jardis, who's a former co-host here on Free Talk Live, and Tommy Mozingo, who's a former military member. Brad's a former cop. They were going to go and do an open carry event on Plymouth State University campus, which is forbidden by campus rules. But on any other day, you would just be violating the campus rules. I don't know if there's actually a law in place. I think they could probably just no trespass you, but I don't know if that you could actually get charged with anything if you
There is not a law,
Right.
and that's why they were planning to do this, because they were saying that this campus policy is illegal and violates the New Hampshire Constitution because there's nothing authorizing them to put out this policy. They just did it. And
they take public funds.
For some reason, well, it's a state-run.
Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
It's a state.
Plymouth State is a state-run university,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it's not just they take public funds; they are a
Right.
state-run university.
Right.
Which there's a difference because like a privately run university. Oh well, they got a student loan from this guy that was federally backed, or they accepted this student with a GI Bill. That's government funds, but
Right.
it's still a private entity. But Plymouth State, government run, and for some reason, I don't recall why the judge got involved in this thing before the open carry demonstration
I can tell
actually
you
happened.
why. The schools went there and they asked him for an order. They asked him for an injunction.
Okay, so
it was publicized.
Right, I knew that he had publicized he was going to do this,
Yeah.
but I forgot who went to the courts for
schools.
something. Okay.
So this order restricts not only Brad Jardis and Tommy Mozingo, but also any person acting in active concert or participation with them, their officers, agents, servants, employees, and attorneys. And they were both ordered to post the order to the website. Quote, Bradley Jardis and Tommy Mozingo are ordered to post a copy of the temporary restraining order on the blog/website freekeene.com in order to provide notice of the enjoined activities to any individuals who plan to bring firearms or other prohibited weapons to the Plymouth State University campus or any other campus administered by the USNH Board of Trustees in response to the press release, unquote. And I say in my article from 2011, the order goes on to threaten anyone who brings a weapon on the state campus with contempt of court and arrest after receiving notice of the temporary restraining order, said the judge. So in America, people are supposed to have the freedom of speech. Doesn't that also mean one should have the freedom not to speak? What obligation besides the threat of a cage does Brad have to do as he was told by this robed man? Can the robed man also order Brad or you, dear reader, to do anything he wants them to do? Can he order Brad to do 50 push-ups? The particular man in this robe, Timothy J. Vaughn, appears to believe that he can just wave his little pen and have us obediently post his ramblings. To Timothy J. Vaughn and the other robed men, this blog is not your property. You do not get to tell us what to post here. Sure, you have men with guns and cages, and you're very scary to a lot of people. Usually, you can get your way through intimidation. You're used to telling everyone, or you're used to everyone telling you, yes, Your Honor. Well, none of us, or those of us here at Free Keene are telling you, no. What you do is not honorable. You are just a human, just like all the rest of us. You may be able to get away with threatening and harming peaceful people, but that doesn't make you better. It just makes you a tyrant. The only reason this article linked to your outrageous order was to prove to people that it was real. One attorney, when interviewed about this, commented that he has never heard of an order compelling action like this. Please note for the record, your paperwork has not been posted in full anywhere on this blog. Free Keene is a news and opinion outlet that supports free speech and its converse, the right to remain silent. The people who blog here don't appreciate you telling us what to do. If you don't like it, you could always try writing an order telling us to bow before you, kiss your ring, and lick your boots. I bet that would really turn you on.
Wow.
So, yeah. So basically what happened was Brad did post that order that the judge asked him to do, and I removed that post. So it's one of the few times in the history of the Free Keene blog, which has been around for over a decade now, with literally thousands of blog posts from dozens of participants over the years. I don't remember having to take down blog posts on more than a couple of occasions, and this is one of them. Because normally the way Free Keene works is if you're a blogger there, you just post what you want.
Yes.
There's no editorial approval. Like a lot of blogs, there was another blog called Free Manch years ago that failed multiple times, and now it's offline. But the reason why it kept failing was because they had this hierarchy of a structure where they had bloggers and then they had editors, and every blogger had to submit their article to be edited or looked over before it would be posted to the site.
The owner of freematch.com is offering the domain for sale. They're asking $499.
Well, anyway, so the site never went anywhere. I mean, because people weren't able to actually post to it without having to go through some, approval process. And Free Keene's never had that. So for me to actually take down a blog post after the fact was unusual. And in this case, I did it because the judge ordered Brad to post it. So Brad did post it. He did post it to the blog. He did what he was ordered to do. And I, as the editor of the site, removed his post completely from the site. And the funny thing was, he also demanded that Tommy Mozingo post to Free Keene as well. But Tommy's not a blogger and was not a blogger at Free Keene, so he couldn't possibly have posted to the blog.
Yeah, he could have made a comment.
I guess he could have commented. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, that's that. I called the judge out, and he never came up with a further order. He never charged me with contempt or anything like that.
And I believe there's video of that Plymouth State incident in Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree?
There is. I think it got cut from the Film Fest version of the movie, but in the full theatrical and director's cut versions of the film, I believe that scene is there.
And people can buy Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree for Bitcoin.
That's right. And you can use eBay now as well. So if you go to dvd.victimlesscrimespree.com, you'll find links to Bitcoin, which you can go through Save It Purse, and then also eBay, where you can use PayPal or credit card to buy your copy of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. And some people have been waiting patiently on the autographed version of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, which I have. I went to Derek's place out in Portsmouth last week, and we did like 2 hours. We spent 2 hours unwrapping and opening and signing and pulling out all the inserts. And so we signed the front cover and we signed the disc. So they're signed in two places.
I wonder if you could get Judge Burke to sign a copy.
Oh, wow.
Put that one up for charity or something like that.
That would be great.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Find out if Judge Burke and Jason Short, who's the officer
I might be able to get Short to do it.
That's the officer that ordered
he's still
Derek arrested for the gift piece of chance.
Oh, that's such a neat idea. All right. It's a lot harder to get Judge Burke. You can't, talk to him easily.
Right.
Because now...
if you talk to him in the stairwell, then you wind up getting arrested for intimidating an officer of the court.
Which also happens in Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. So check it out, victimlesscrimespree.com.
Best movie ever.
And we'll continue with more. And again, victimlesscrimespree.com. I appreciate it. There's about 120 of those things available, and that's it.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did American men get so soft? Today's average red-blooded American man has less testosterone than his father, and his father has less testosterone than his father. Before we turn into a country of powder puffs, Force Factor is launching the Man Up America event. We want to send every man in America a complimentary bottle of the breakout supplement taking GNC by storm. Test X180 Ignite, loaded with free testosterone-boosting manliness. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SHAPE44 to 369-369. During workouts, Test X180 Ignite raises levels of free testosterone in your body to help build lean muscle. Plus, it helps burn fat, fuel sexual desire, and improve performance. Now you can continue to feel like the real men that made this country great. Do yourself a favor. Do America a favor. Text SHAPE44 to 369-369 for your complimentary bottle. That's a complimentary bottle by texting SHAPE44 to 369-369.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free. Bring up anything you want here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you may Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Chris Wade is here from thinkpenguin.com. Chris, anything new, fresh happening over there in the Think Penguin realm?
I mean, it's mostly same as always. We're working on new products and things like that.
That's what I mean. What's
well,
being
there's
worked on?
a wireless Yoma 68 router that's being worked on.
You guys already have a router that goes through VPN network.
Yeah,
right?
we do. This is more interesting because it'll enable you to do like high throughput VPN and various other things that are not necessarily possible with your typical router.
What makes this different? I mean, like your other VPN router that you're selling now. What makes this new one?
So a normal
better?
router uses a typical like low, a slower processor, a very slow processor. Okay, it doesn't have much RAM or memory, so it's kind of limited. Yeah. I mean, they're designed to be cheap. Well, this router will basically allow you to slide in a Yoma 68 card, so it's basically almost a laptop or a desktop processor, which are much more powerful.
Okay.
So you can do very high bandwidth,
faster routing.
A transfer to the VPN.
Okay. Cool.
And various other stuff.
And so that's in the works, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's being worked on right now. Actually, the design it shouldn't take that long, not nearly as long as the laptop or the desktop designs or any of the
neat
cards that have been. Well, there's only been one card so far, and the second one's being
privacy-centric, hardware, Linux-based. If that's what you're into or you want to get into it, then thinkpenguin.com is the place to do
so
that.
That's not out yet. That's just being worked on as it developed as we speak. Yeah,
maybe later this year if we're lucky, or what do you think for our time frame? I mean, obviously it's when it's done.
Yeah, it was supposed to be no more than like a couple of months if we had to do it from scratch, I think.
Okay.
And or maybe that was if we had something to build off of, and we do have something to build off of, so theoretically it should be pretty quick as far as the design is concerned. I'm not sure exactly how quick the manufacturing will go or any of that nature, or if we're going to have to do a crowdfunding for that or not. It won't be that much, I don't think.
So this is going to be a original, unique piece of hardware that will only be available through Think Penguin?
I don't know if I want to say it'll only be available through us. We're actually working with another company on it. So, but yeah, certainly we're behind it, and we'll make it available.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, it may, and there's actually other companies that are interested in selling a similar or other routers with the Yoma 68 slot. So it should be pretty interesting
And the Yoma 68 is something you've talked in detail about in the past. We're not going to get into what that really means, but it does mean you can easily swap out and upgrade this thing in the future.
Yes.
So
very, very cool.
Something to keep an eye on over at thinkpenguin.com. Let's go to Will Coley. He's on the line with us. If we get the chance, we'll talk about the laser story, but we got Will from Muslims for Liberty on the line. Hey, Will.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Hey, it's everybody's favorite redneck Muslim. What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to tell you guys about this great new effort from LaunchGood. Now, LaunchGood is the same people that you heard a few months ago the story about Muslims raising like $60,000 to repair a vandalized Jewish cemetery, or Muslims raising almost $250,000 for San Bernardino victims. LaunchGood is the site and the group that facilitates all of these efforts to raise money to do all of these really good things. And what they've done is they've got a 30-day challenge that they're doing right now, where they will basically, you go to their website and you sign up, and starting in 8 days, every day for 30 days, they'll send you an email with a really cool non-government effort, privately funded, to fix a social ill, either to build an orphanage for girls in Pakistan, to build a medical clinic in Alabama, to feed the homeless in Florida, to do work resettlement for refugees coming to America from Syria to help take that burden off of the state. All of these different things, you can give as much as you like or as little as $1 a day. And I've already seen a lot of really popular libertarians have signed up for it. Mark Edge from your show has signed up for it. Darryl has signed up for it. And it's a great opportunity for people to, even if it's as little as $1 a day, to kind of put up or shut up. You hear people a lot of times, they'll say, well, where are the Muslims? Why aren't the Muslims doing A? Why aren't the Muslims doing B? Why aren't the Muslims doing C? Well, here you have all of these different groups of Muslims who are trying to do all those things. And what they're saying is, look, help us out with $1, $5, $10, whatever you can, to try to help us get these positive efforts off the ground. Because you know as well as I do, no kind of activism, even protesting today, isn't free. You have to pay for a government permit to even protest.
No, you don't have to pay for the permit.
Only a sucker pays for a permit. But yes, it is expensive to do activism, whether it's simply the fact that you're not, able to go to work while you're protesting.
Right.
It costs, just because of that. So Launch Good. Now, is that a Muslim-formed company, or is it just typically used by Muslims?
It's a Muslim-formed company, but it is used by both Muslims and by non-Muslims. A lot of the efforts to raise money on these platforms are actually Muslims donating for non-Muslim causes, like giving money to rebuild a Jewish cemetery that was vandalized a few months ago, or last year raising the money to rebuild a church in South Carolina that was burned down.
What kind of church?
So it was a black church.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Christian church with black members, and it was burned down.
Clearly, the Muslims who are supporting helping Jews and Christians are obviously anti-peace and want to slaughter all Jews and Christians, right? Because that's why they would. That's why they would do
well, that's
that.
because that's logical, and logic is what.
We rebuild the church, but not to code. That way, it falls in on them.
But I'd love to send you guys the link. We're actually kind of competing with a big name imam. His name's Suhaib Webb. And Suhaib Webb stated last year that if liberals stopped supporting the Muslim community, that they would have no defenders of their rights left in America. And what we're trying to do is to show him that there are thousands, even millions of liberty-minded people out there who not only support our rights, but would even be willing to support our efforts to do good here in the U.S. through non-governmental means. And so I'd love to send you guys the link.
You've already sent me the link privately, Will. I am going to post that link right now on the Facebook and Twitter for Free Talk Live.
All right, cool. And maybe that'll
there's no money up front. No money at all up front. You just sign up and then
get a text message.
Yep.
That's it right there. Hey, Will, hey, man, thanks for calling in tonight. By the way, for listeners that don't know, you are the host of Call to Freedom, which is a show that one can hear on LRN.FM. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire here. I've heard people complaining, Will, about your show, and that is that you don't have a podcast.
Yeah, I know. We're actually working on that right now. We just got some stuff to do, some recordings, and then I also got a sponsor that says if Darryl will start doing it for us again, that they'll pay Darryl.
All right, that sounds cool.
So
good. Well, that's good because LRN.FM's great. It's a great live audio delivery system. It's heard in Africa on satellite, on free-to-air satellites. So, I mean, that's all cool that you guys are doing a live show, and we want to run a repeat of it later on in the week. But actually pretty early in the week. But regardless,
runs on Tuesday.
Yeah, and but that that means if you're not listening live, you don't hear it. If you've got a podcast, that means that anybody anywhere in the world who can download a file can listen to your show later on.
Yep.
So it'll definitely expand the listenership to Call to Freedom. So definitely take the time, whatever time you need to put into that, so you can get out there into the podcast world. Because I think you do an important show. And it's a shame it's only heard live, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right on, guys. Well, we'll see you guys in a few weeks at Somalia Fest, hopefully.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, Will.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah. All right. That's Will Coley. He's from Muslims for Liberty. That's Muslims4Liberty.org. And he mentioned Somalia Fest. We're not going to have time to get into the laser story, but mark that for another night.
Yep. I'll bring it in next week.
But Somalia Fest, I think that's something that, Chris, you're planning on attending.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm hoping that we can get Free Talk Live to be able to officially be broadcasting from the event. We're in the midst of, the negotiations have yet to begin because I haven't gotten the owner of the campground on the phone yet. But Somalia Fest is very different from the Porcupine Freedom Festival in that first of all, this is its first year on its own. It sort of became sort of this splinter group after the PorcFest fallout from last year when they banned Free Talk Live and me from attending that event, which we had attended for not quite a decade, but the majority of a decade. And Somalia Fest sort of grew out of a lot of the frustrations that people had with the Porcupine Freedom Festival over a variety of things. It's happening several days before Pork Fest. Was it the 16th through the
16th through 20th?
20th?
Yeah.
If you go to somaliafest.com, you can learn a little bit more about the event. It's going to be a much more low-key, more just libertarian, voluntarist, anarchist camping festival. And we're hoping to see you there in June. So somaliafest.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No-Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, May 19th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.84 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,254 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,927. Antiwar.com reports over the past few weeks there have been multiple reports of President Donald Trump planning to unveil a massive arms sale to Saudi Arabia during his upcoming visit, and the figures have kept rising. What was $100 billion earlier this week is now, according to the most recent reports, $350 billion. That would make it one of the largest arms deals in U.S. history and realistically in world history, and indications are that President Trump intends to present this as part of the push for the creation of Arab NATO, and by extension make it part of Sunni Arabs confronting Iran. This single deal would dwarf President Obama's arms deals throughout his entire term in office, which are estimated at $200 billion and are themselves the biggest amount of arms sales by any administration in the post-war era. Saudi Arabia was a large buyer then as well. With Saudi Arabia locked in a seemingly endless war in Yemen, they're going to continue to throw money at more costly U.S. munitions and weaponry in hopes of winning what they thought would be a simple war, and all indications are that the current administration will be just as eager as the last one to sign off on those deals. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com. UPI reports Jason Chaffetz, a top House Republican who asked the DOJ to investigate President Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey, announced on Thursday he is resigning in June. In a letter to Utah's 3rd Congressional District, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee said, "After careful consideration and long discussion with my wife, Julie, we agree the time has come for us to move on from this part of our life," adding, "My life has undergone some big changes over the last 18 months. Those changes have been good, but as I celebrated my 50th birthday in March, the reality of spending more than 1,500 nights away from my family over 8 years hit me harder than it had before." His resignation was not a surprise. He announced in April he would not seek re-election in 2018 and would leave Congress before his term expired on January 3rd, 2019. Chaffetz will step down effective June 30th, 2017. His successor as House Oversight Chairman will take over part of the federal investigation into allegations of Russia's election hacking and whether Trump's campaign colluded in that effort. On Tuesday, Chaffetz asked the FBI for documents regarding Comey's communications with Trump. He also asked Comey to appear before his committee next week. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a former uniformed Secret Service officer was sentenced to 20 years in prison on Thursday for sending sexually explicit messages to minors, sometimes while on duty at the White House, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Lee Robert Moore of Churchill, Maryland, pled guilty in March to enticement of a minor to engage in sexual activity and attempting to transfer obscene material to a minor. He was fired after his arrest in November 2015. The DOJ said in a statement that Moore was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Palm Beach, Florida, where his guilty pleas were consolidated. When he was arrested, Moore was assigned to protect the White House complex, and prosecutors said he sent some of the materials while on duty there. He was originally arrested on a charge of sending naked pictures of himself to an undercover Delaware State Police officer posing as a 14-year-old girl. After his arrest, investigators found that Moore had sent sexually explicit images of himself to a minor in Florida and asked her to send him explicit photos of herself. He had similar communications with a 14-year-old girl in Texas and a 17-year-old girl in Missouri. Moore was sentenced to a life sentence of supervised release after his prison term is over. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A dying Chevron executive is excited to one day become oil. A man wearing red glasses and pink pants is probably Dutch or something, and the report of a popular fish's death is starting to get around the tank.
This is the Onion Week in Review. The nation was once again wowed this week by the feats of very strong little boy Michael Sartinsky, who, after removing his t-shirt to better display his impressive physique, deadlifted an entire frozen turkey over his head and held it aloft for 3 full seconds. The latest demonstration of the pint-sized muscle man's almost inhuman abilities comes on the heels of multiple accomplishments involving incredible displays of speed, strength, and endurance. Over the past 4 months alone, Sartinsky cleared the 3-foot chasm between his brother's bed and his own, beat his fully grown Uncle Scott in a foot race, and threw a tennis ball clear onto the roof of his 2-story house.
Pound for pound, I honestly don't think there's a stronger boy on earth. Have you felt his muscles? They're like solid rocks.
This is the Onion News Network.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Torchwood Report. I am Matthew Taylor, joined tonight by Bill Godin and Jeff Nijo. So before we get into anything crazy, I'm going to kick it over to Niz because we've got a jam-packed show and I want to get this out the way.
This broadcast is covered by the BIPCOT No Government License. That means that you are free to use or rebroadcast portions or segments of the show as long as you are not an agent or advocate for government. If you fail to heed this warning, you will be socially shamed.
You will be
a lot.
Yeah, like so crazy that like even during winter, man.
No coats. Confiscate the coats. Bing, bing, bong.
Oh my God. Even Donald Trump will troll you.
He'll weigh in.
The Donald.
So how have you guys been this week?
Warmer.
Warmer? Yeah, just a little bit. It's been pretty toasty here.
You guys are complaining about being warm.
Oh yeah.
It's been like 80 degrees here since February 2nd.
Well, I mean, we
I'll
like
take-
seasons as well.
Yeah, right. And I'll take 80 degrees. It's been like 95 here.
Yeah, and I also, work in a
Tornadoes?
hot-
Have I mentioned the tornadoes?
No, you didn't mention
I mean,
those.
I've lived through a few of them in my day, so I get what you're going through. I spent 13 years in the tornado alley, so you're at what, like
Fun times.
under a year? So
No, I've been here
no?
2 years.
2 years?
More, going on 3.
Okay. You're
Makes a huge difference. I'm a seasoned veteran now.
You're starting to get your sales going there. Yeah.
I don't even get afraid anymore when they have the warnings and watches and stuff. I go outside and stand in my yard and look up out at the sky.
Okay, that makes you crazy. That's what that does.
Some cumulus nimbus clouds are not peaking at the right angle, so I think we're probably good. Plus, also the skies seem to be gray, not green. So at this point, with the way that the barometer's reading and the updraft to the feel that I can feel in the wind, we're gonna be fine. We're on the dry line. Don't worry about it.
Dry line's not good. That's the part I remember.
No, that's
I watched Twister.
Oh, that's cool. You can watch Twister. I legitimately lived out there. Like you.
Hey,
I watched a movie and I'm a meteorologist now.
I know what I'm talking about. No. This was not that everybody was educated in meteorology out in Kansas, but let me tell you, when you grow up in an area where the the air can literally just start killing people, you start to look for notice signs. You start to look for warnings. You're like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, the clouds look really weird today. Maybe I want to stay in my hallway for an hour. So, I know Niz knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you walk outside, you're like, ooh, today could be interesting.
Today could be the day. That's just it. That's how it is. Yeah. Actually, the last one touched down about, 3/4 of a mile or so away from where we live.
Wow.
I remember...
That's a little too close.
I remember driving home when I was a kid one time from Oklahoma, or from Arizona, but we were coming through Texas into Oklahoma. And that was the only time I'd ever seen clouds that were, like, murky green, and also, at times, only about 20 feet above our car. Yeah. Rain coming from every single direction. My mom just holding the wheel, just crap, the whole way, just flooring it, trying to get in front of this storm. Like, we make it to this gas station right outside the edge of the storm, and we're pumping gas because we were low, and we look back, and people are saying, like, yeah, a tornado just dropped over there. Like, we legitimately just, like, missed it by a hair. But we could hear it. It was a crazy experience, and like that was the last time I was ever really near one. But damn, dude,
the closest I got was one dropped about 2 miles from my house, and I actually overlook a gap, and I'm looking through the gap because that's where the radar said it was, and it's just this wall of clouds that actually like envelop the gap. It's like, and my wife looks at me and she goes, "Are you scared?" Not at all. Get back in the house.
Yeah, there's some there's some times where you look out at something nature's doing, you're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. But if you ever get that feeling where it's like, this could be dangerous, it's because it was dangerous about 10 steps ago, and your dumb human intuition is just catching up.
You're 10 minutes past dangerous.
Right, yeah. You're just catching up to what nature's planning on doing.
You start getting the spidey sense, dude, you need to get out of there.
Yeah, because it's late. Humans, we're not really intuitive to this type of things by nature. So once we start picking up on it, it's bad. Because we're lazy. We've created technology, and if we don't have that technology, and you're feeling it just by just the feeling in your body, yeah, something's wrong. Run. I don't care what direction. Anyone's fine, except for whichever way seems to be the worst. But damn, so we have a lot to go on about tonight, and we're just droning on about tornadoes. But anyways, it's been a busy week in Washington, D.C., and also in London, with some pretty big people being, basically released from their imprisonment. I'd say Chelsea Manning was actually imprisoned, and then Julian Assange, he was more of a prisoner situation.
Right, and I guess they're dropping. It looks like he may be.
What was that movie, The Terminal?
Yeah.
Yes.
With Tom Hanks?
Yeah, it's been like that for him since, 2012?
Right. That's Julian Assange. Only he's in an embassy, not an airport.
The Ecuadorian embassy in London. If that doesn't sound like the most underfunded place ever. The fact that he had Wi-Fi to be able to set up WikiLeaks and actually run it successfully for so long just tells me that he got a hookup, because I don't think that they're sending more than maybe $150,000 a year to that embassy. It's Ecuador. What do they care about their embassy in London? Let's be real.
Right. I don't. But do you really think that though? Maybe they pipe most of their money there because that's where they. I have no idea.
Well,
I don't know much about Ecuador.
It's not really high on my list either.
Well, here's what I do know about his situation.
It's not Venezuela.
It's not Venezuela. That's very true. But here's what I know about the situation, okay, with Julian Assange. Julian Assange has been inside this embassy, but he's been living inside of an office, and for a while it was even hard for him to get things like showers and reliable bathrooms and things like that. It was a pretty rough stay, and here's the thing. It's not like they've upgraded any of their equipment or facilities to accommodate. You know what I mean? He's just kind of been the dude who sleeps in that office over there since 2012. No wonder the guy looks real rough and barely speaks in public and takes a couple months off just to be quiet.
I wonder what he does on his time off.
Dude, it's not like he's sitting there playing Xbox.
What can you do?
Right? What's your theory?
Now he's being accused of being a Russian agent.
Man, who hasn't been?
Right, everybody.
Just ask the Trump administration.
It is, man.
Oh, but I'm pumped.
It is. I mean, every time it comes out, everybody's just Russian. Everybody's Russian. Russian hackers, Russians controlling the election.
Putin. So here's the thing, Matt. Too. Here's the thing, is that Assange is not out of the water completely by having these, because what it was the rape charges that he was facing in Sweden, and so they decided to drop this, and they're not going to continue to press charges against him. That doesn't mean he's out of the woods. That means he might step out of the embassy there into London and get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So anyways, guys, you can tell that we've got a lot on the plate tonight, so make sure that you stay tuned right here to LRN.FM for more of the Torchwood Report.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm.
Because we are smothering in spam, please do not reply to all when you can instead reply. I was recently among over 100 invited to a corporate reunion. It's always a warm affair, and that's the problem. Enthusiasm for our upcoming get-together caused many recipients to RSVP the organizer with a cheery reply to all. I can't wait. Then others piled on with a reply to all to that. Then the "I'm out of my office now" autoresponders joined in. So I replied to all, asking that we all reply only to the organizer. Hey, at least I tried. One invitee, apparently retired, shot back, "Point taken, but I really like seeing the responses since they're so positive." Smiley face. This better be an open bar. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Torchwood Report. I am Jeff Nijo here this evening with Matthew Taylor and Bill Godin. Before the break, we had just started getting into some of the things that were that had happened this past week. One of the big ones, I guess you can say, is that Chelsea Manning was released from military prison after being there for 7 years. So I guess according to the Wire, what she said when they let her out, she said, "Whatever is ahead of me is far more important than the past. I'm figuring things out right now, which is expected, awkward, fun, and new for me." What's interesting about her, what landed Manning in prison, is that the size of the leak. Do you guys know what the size of the leak was?
Yeah, I know it was incredibly.
It was
small.
huge.
1.73 gigabytes.
Yeah, it's incredibly small.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that it would be that big of a. That's like not even a full DV. That's not even a full Blu-ray, man.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what
250,000 pages.
Well, I guess if you look at it as documents. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
But if you're looking at the
right.
size documents that other people have walked out with, this is really small.
Well, actually, I think at the time it was one of the largest, I think, in history.
Yes.
At the time that it happened.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I mean,
it's significant amount of information that was let loose.
Yeah, because it was it was 1.3 gigabytes, and it was larger than the previous recorded leak, which was it was the Pentagon Papers.
Yeah, Daniel Ellsberg.
Right. Sorry, I was talking off the microphone a little bit there. But, yeah, and then he photocopied that and gave it to the Times back in 71.
That was polite of him.
Well, I mean, there's never been...
What a nice guy.
He is.
I really don't think there's ever been a shortage of the little guy trying to out the big guy for the shady things that they are doing. And the best way to do it is always, go to the papes. So,
That's if they'll take it. That's if they'll take it.
If they'll take it. If they'll take it, but the world
in Manning's
is different
case, they
now.
ignored it.
Right,
No,
but
wait,
the world
man.
is different now because
you have the internet.
Yeah, you have the internet, but and I mean, realistically, she did too. But that's just a whole different.
Well, with the advent of WikiLeaks too, I mean, that gave it a whole nother option.
Right.
Because Assange will publish anything that just destroys a government.
Right.
He's a big fan.
But the thing is,
He's
is
a
I
big
don't.
fan.
But his leak is significant, or her leak. Sorry. Yeah, let's not get into that. But but anyways, it stemmed not only from its size but its specifics. God damn it!
Holy mackerel!
Juvenile.
I like keep
Juvenile.
thinking is white chicks. That's all I keep thinking.
Yep.
Holy moly!
The Manning documents revealed that the U.S. diplomats routinely acted as spies, and that the U.S. had secretly launched a war in Yemen, which actually still continues to this day, and that the U.S. forces had killed 2 Reuters journalists along with Iraqi civilians, among a myriad of... Like, it's crazy. It's, sorry.
It gets so crazy it gets Matt's tongue-tied.
It does, dude. I'm sitting here and I'm reading and I'm just like, and it's all just coming back to me because there's quite a few people right now who are kind of in some hot water for dropping information, and sometimes when you're trying to bring that information to light in your own head, it can get a little jumbled because there's a lot to go over.
Here's the thing with all this stuff, man. Right? Is that when you have all these people that are leaking and the government's saying, oh, it's government secrets and it's a threat to national security, you have to ask yourself, is this actually a threat to national security?
No,
is this really, or is this just a case of a bunch of jerks were doing some really, really inhumane stuff and they got caught, they got outed?
Okay, and see, and here's where I get a little freaky with this whole story. Everybody thinks I'm against it. I kind of bash Chelsea, Brad, whatever the name is right now. I don't know, but okay.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I know I do. But everybody thinks I was against what she did. I'm not really. I'm not. I'm actually for what she did. But here's where it gets a little crazy. If you look what happened right before when actually it was when he joined the army.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was actually put into a discharge protocol.
Right.
And he was on his way out of the army. That discharge protocol was revoked. No reason given. Now, I know, as having gone through something very similar to myself, I know there's a reason for everything, and it's usually made public.
Right.
Okay, so him not having a reason for being put back into that position where he was obviously yanked from because they didn't declare him fit enough.
Right.
I wonder if there's a backstory there.
Well,
is there a Kim in
backstory.
quotation marks lurking in the background of the story somewhere?
Right.
I mean, could this be something that's set up? You think?
That's exactly where I'm going, and I don't know. Like, I can't even go government here because she did so much damage to the military aspect of what we're doing over there, that it doesn't seem that it would be government based. It would be anti-government based, and that gets me thinking too. It's like, okay, where did that come from?
Well, I mean, when you look at it, the documents that were released and the information that was dropped was definitely, anti-government. It definitely wanted to get the message out of what the government and the American government was doing in foreign countries and how they were using their diplomats. But what
and how they're murdering
murdering
Reuters,
people.
Well, in the meantime, while they're also murdering Reuters journalists. Right. You can't forget about that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like a really big. Like, we know they're bombing people over in the Middle East,
but now they're killing journalists,
right?
And it's out there. So, but the thing is where I think I missed what you were getting at, because the reaction of the government was definitely one of, we got caught with our pants down.
Right. And see, I saw that too, and that's where it's like, okay, I look at how it came to be.
Like, somebody had to pull some strings somewhere for
absolutely.
that.
And then why? Why did they pull the strings? Because to me, this goes right to 9/11. I can see the backstories there. Okay, yeah, funny. I can see the backstories.
Get your hat
there.
out.
And no, that's funny. But I can see the backstories there. I can play it out in my mind, where in this one I can't, because it doesn't make any sense to me. But in reality, it makes sense that there were definitely strings being pulled.
Well, I don't think any one of these, or him or Snowden, for that matter,
big fan,
worked alone. But there's a lot, and I mean a lot more here, that we're just going to dive into and, really discuss right here on the Torchwood Report. So if you guys have anything also you want to add or questions you want to ask, head over to Facebook at the Torchwood Report. Send us a message, and we'll try to answer your questions. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of hearing things like this on the radio and television?
I've read the Quran, the Hadiths, the Surahs. 90% of it is violence.
Terrorism, Islamic terrorism, ISIS, Islamic terrorism.
I would even submit to you that Islam's not even a religion. It's a social, political system that uses a deity to advance its agenda of global conquest.
Wouldn't you much rather hear things like this?
And Muslims traditionally were very libertarian in their approach.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, says even at times of war, you don't break a tree, you don't destroy buildings, you don't kill women and children, you don't kill the aged and the elderly.
What's called income tax in classical Islam is definitely prohibited. Muslims are very wary of any scholar who associates closely with a government, and they always have been.
Join Will Coley and his rotating cast of scholars on Call to Freedom every Sunday night from 10 p.m. to midnight on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Uncertainty has become the talking point when it comes to financial markets. One thing is becoming certain: safe haven assets. Hard assets are now becoming the choice of informed investors. The most recognized and valued hard asset is gold. The highest performing asset this year is gold. Trust gold to protect and grow your IRA or 401k. Central banks and billionaires are doing the same thing. Choose a more stable asset that has tremendous upside potential. As these uncertain times threaten the markets, your decision to reduce your exposure to these markets before further negative effects to your portfolio would be well timed. Call 1-800-GOLD-IRA to transfer your existing IRA into an actual physical gold and silver IRA. American Bullion is the pioneer of gold IRAs. They handle all the details for you. Call 1-800-GOLD-IRA to get prepared. Start protecting and growing your IRA and 401k before the next crash. American Bullion. 1-800-GOLD-IRA.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Torchwood Report. I'm Matthew Taylor, joined tonight with Bill Godin and Jeff Nijo. So up to this point, we were talking about Chelsea Manning, and I just want to, before we move on, just give a congratulations and also a deep thank you to some of the stuff that she did to, kind of progress our world in a way that at least the American people kind of have a little bit more of an insight to what's going on, and the fact that I think she inspired some people to do some other things. So once again, she was released on Wednesday, and kind of can't wait to see what the next step is there, if she's going to disappear and just kind of go live life, or if it's going to become one of the bigger names in the activist community at large. But now there's another person I really want to talk about. We talk about him actually all the time, and that's Edward Snowden. So I'm going to kick it over to Niz here, who's kind of going to set some of this up.
Dude, I'm going to totally tie together Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so hear me out here, right? So
all right.
Manning has all this gathers all this information, right? Decides that it's going to go to a news media outlet. So the information gets sent to the New York Times and the Washington Post. New York Times, Washington Post both say, nope, not touching it. They did a George H. Bush or whatever. They ain't gonna do it, and they didn't touch it. Okay, so Manning then goes to WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks, of course, publishes the information. So now after she leaks all this information to WikiLeaks, feeling a little bit sketchy, a little bit scared maybe, a little bit confused, a little bit out of sorts. So in this effort, in this moment of sort of somewhat, I guess you could say desperation, reaches out to former hacker Adrian Lamo, or Lamo, I think.
Lamo.
Is better. So this dude then turns on her and alerts the FBI and the Army to the claims. Next day, the Army seizes Manning on the base in Baghdad, right to military prison. Okay?
Right.
So Snowden now is in this position where he's got 60 gigabytes worth of data from the NSA.
Yep.
So he looks and sees what happened to Manning and says, oh, man, that ain't happening to me. He knew that he had to get out of Dodge, or he'd suffer the same fate as Manning, especially because, like I said, that Manning was only 1.7 gigs. Snowden had 60 gigs of a mega leak, you could call it.
Oh, God, yeah.
All about government surveillance and how the government's spying on its own citizens. came from the public, not from WikiLeaks, but from newspapers, which made it much more difficult for the government to disavow. So
It was the Guardian, Washington Post, and one other. What was it?
Right. So, well, the point is, he knew from what he saw that if he didn't bounce, it was curtains for him.
Oh God,
absolutely. Because
you know what I mean?
No military prison is going to protect them. I
No.
mean, he's going to some CIA black site and he's staying there for years.
Yeah,
if
well,
not
well, that's treason is what they're trying to charge him with. You don't come back from treason.
Well, yeah,
Trump hates his guts.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who hated him more because Barack Obama, Obama wasn't a fan either.
He pretty much whitewashed. He kind of like belittled him right on the air.
Right. Hacker.
Yeah, this hacker. Yeah.
Yeah. Some hacker.
Some hacker.
Which
listen, Donald Trump said, I think he's a total traitor, and I would deal with him harshly. If I were president, I'd get along with Putin. Putin would hand him over. Trump called him a bad guy and said, there is still such a thing as execution.
Yeah, and you know what happened 2 days before Donald Trump takes the presidency? Russia extends his asylum through 2020, basically guaranteeing that who's ever president right now is not going to get their hands.
Well, he's going to use him as a bargaining chip. I mean, let's face it. He's a ex-KGB agent or whatever everybody says. So,
yeah,
he's not a dumb guy. He's like, I got what you want. How much you going to give me?
Right. It's a pawn. But I don't think. Right, but I don't think anything that's on the table right now is, especially with the world's climate, I don't think handing Edward Snowden over is going to de-escalate what's going on in the world right now. So I think Russia is just kind of like, let's spite America, let's hold this guy here and just make him really nervous because they still don't like the fact that we could be talking to him.
He's going to turn around and say, I'll trade you a Crimea for a Snowden. That's what seriously. Dude, I was watching Fox News the other day and there was some boob that was on there saying that Snowden, and he said it just like this, Snowden, a traitor who's a hero for the left. Like, really?
He should be
was that
he should
Alex
be a hero.
Jones? Was Alex Jones on Fox News? Because that's an Alex Jones.
He should be a hero for all American people.
Right?
I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying.
But here we are, where I remember when the when the movie Snowden came out, I went and saw it and just wanted to see what we went and saw it opening day. And it was one of those moments where it's like, is this going to be a complete hatchet job where they try to do government propaganda and paint him in a horrible light? Or is this going to be a pretty accurate telling of what's going on with some dramatization? Now, granted, it was more towards the second one. But just the total reactions of watching the people inside the audience and how through the progression of the movie, there was a guy in front of us, this old man, who never turned around, but at one point he took his Make America Great hat off, and he just kind of sat there, and he just kind of stared, and he just kind of got angrier and angrier, and then he just kind of walked out. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
That was such a dramatic telling of that.
That was.
Your voice took me on a roller coaster of emotions.
I think Matt has a future for this, right?
I know, for real.
Meanwhile, I had 3 people in the theater with me. 3.
Yeah, I mean, there was like 4 people with us, but that old man, like, I have never seen somebody get so angry from the back before. Like,
he got it.
I almost feel like there was like flames out of the side of his head.
He had angry back.
Yeah, I could just.
So hey, I have a legitimate question for you.
Yeah,
for both of you, for everyone. I have a legitimate question for everyone who is out there. Anyone who may be listeing. This is my question.
Yes, they can.
This,
yes,
okay?
yes. If it's on your phone, they can see your nudes.
Nudes. I would imagine if they're letting Manning go, are they going to not? Because one of the things that Assange has to worry about is the United States going to come out with Black Hawk helicopters, black bag him, and sweep him away somewhere?
Well, I mean, granted.
So since they're not going after Manning, are they going to?
I don't know what just happened. Niz died.
Hello? Hello? I think we just lost connection. It's pick. Can you hear me?
User disconnected from your channel. User entered your channel.
Okay. Are you still there?
What the hell is on?
Hello. Niz. Hello. We're back online?
No. Okay, well I don't know. Yeah, I can't.
User disconnected from your channel.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic